Welcome to the road to the NHC. I'm Scotty McKeever, and we are here to guide you into mastering the art of handicapping and securing your spot in the National Handicapping Championship, Horse Players Championship in Las Vegas 2025. We've got none other than Wood Memorial to his credit, NHC 2022 champion, Silver Sunday champion, defending Silver Sunday champion, my partner, David Harrison. What is that, brother?
Hey, brother. How's it going, Scotty?
Going
TGIFF,
good.
everybody.
Yep. We got 6 races. We got 6 races over at Saratoga for the feeder. That's kind of
my alley. Right up my alley.
Right up your alley. That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah, no synthetics. So I'm hoping to go at least 1 for 6. So we'll see how it goes. But just so you know, I'm on a really, you know how streaky we get as horse players. But the last 2 weeks, right, I don't post tickets on X or Twitter, but I'm on a roll, and I'm going to want to continue it going, get it going. Got some tour points last week in the Friday NHC, and picked up some tour points yesterday at the Kentucky Downs contest.
Yeah, I saw you doing well there. How did you end up finishing up in that? Because that was brutal. That was super hard.
Well, I'll give you a quick story. I can't spend too much time on it, but I had the lead. I had an opinion in the first and second races, and just so the audience knows, I asked Scotty. I said I don't usually do well a couple of days before, and Scotty tells me you got to be close to the lead on that track. So the first race, obviously, I see Scotty in the contest too. So I played the speed of the speed, who won by like 5 lengths at 14-1. And I'm thinking Scotty's good. So thank you, Scotty, for helping me out with that. So I had the lead for a while. I went down to 4th, but I ended up finishing 3rd. But it came interesting in the last race because I was in 3rd and I'm double qualified, 2 NHC seats. So my strategy was I wanted to get one of the 8 seats to the next Friday contest, the $2,500 one, I want that belt, that Turfway, that Kentucky Downs belt. Yeah. So that was my goal. So I kind of just, I had made one play. Dave Gutfriend had one. I was $200 or $300 away from him. And the guy who was in second, I apologize, I don't remember his name. He was like 150 in front of me. So I played $100 on the race, hoping I could catapult. And it didn't really matter because if I was going for an NHC seat, I would have probably put $500 or $600 into the race. And I think based on what they did, I probably would have won another NHC seat, but I'm called. So so it was good. So everything was good. So now I broke my maiden on Kentucky Downs contest. So I'm ready to go for the big championship next Saturday. So.
All right. Well, we don't have a lot of time. If you are going to play with us, hello, Joe, by the way. If you are going to play with us, you need to have your pick and praise in, your plays, 6 of them, all 6 at Saratoga, races 1 through 6. You have to have them in before the first race goes off, and that's in 31 minutes from now. So here's a look at that. You can see at the top, you'll see that is the feeder. So, and it's $18. Join the NTRA and get your tour card and join us. But let's get out to Saratoga, race number 1 first. And hey, listen, I think I handicapped like 4 of these first 6 races, so I'm going to be a little bit more help for you today. But let's run this simulated race. I have a bit of an opinion on a few horses in here. There's some, the first-time starter, gate to wire. I believe this is might be a Pletcher horse. Yeah, it's a Pletcher horse. But there's some speed in here. There seems to be a lot of speed in here. But the 7 horse in Canto is the EquinEdge top pick. And you can see the 8's closing. But I think the 8 is a horse that has a lot of speed. It has a very low GSR. Not that these are that great. But the 7 horse for Jack Sisterson ran in a non-graded stakes race at Gulfstream Park in his first start. And, they put a 10% jockey on. I think they were trying to sneak one, as what I think was going on. Only 2% chance of winning and barely lost against 10 other horses that day. Now gets Castellano, who jumps aboard. And this horse is now not 2%, but 30% to win the race. And this is a much easier group than what this horse faced in his first start.
Yeah, wow, you are really prepared, Scotty. That was good analysis. I would concur with you, but I have another opinion. So this is a 5.5 furlong maiden special weight for 2-year-olds, and these are races I really like to watch. Okay, rather than wager on. And it comes in really helpful later in a year and early next year when these horses come back as 3-year-olds. So I do a lot of watching of these 2-year-old races more than wagering. But with that being said, this is a competitive race. Sometimes it's a guessing game because you have a bunch of first-time starters. And in any case, I'm still looking for a price. And I understand your point about Encanto the 7. I mean, Jack must have been really high on this horse to put it in a stakes race first time out. And the horse took money. It was an 11-horse field, and he went off at 15-1, had a treble line. So it's definitely a contender. The other contender I thought that you could use is, I don't love the 2-1 morning line, but Gate to Wire, Munnings, first-timer for Todd. Donegal Racing, the last 2 workouts were outstanding on August 23rd, August 17th. So that's a horse you've got to use, I guess. But I am looking for a little bit of a price here because I'm not going down without a fight. I'm looking for prices, and that's the way I roll normally, unless the favorites just look so good that I want to beat them. Let's take a look at the 5, Loft Carrain. I guess that means a late Carrain in Irish. This is a John Terranova horse. It's out of Win, who was one of my favorite horses back in the day. It was 2019, I believe, Preakness, right? Belmont, no, not Belmont, but so this horse had, let me just pull up my stats here. I don't want to spend too much time.
This horse was actually got second in the Bluegrass.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right? Talking about the sire.
Win.
And was in the Preakness and got 7th. There was 13 horses that day, only lost by 5.5 lengths. So interesting in that race, Trombetta actually put blinkers on the horse. It really interesting that you would do that in such a big race. It's such a I guess he was pretty frustrated with the Kentucky Derby and goes in the Preakness and adds blinkers. So I don't know that I've seen an equipment change like that in such a big race.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason, Scotty, was also the Bluegrass, where he was flying at the end. He was way back, and he closed and finished second in the Bluegrass. He was also way back in the Derby and finished 10th. But I'm figuring they wanted to, try closer to the pace. And so after that race, they put him on turf, and he won in Manila at 4-1. So he was bet. So he his second turf race, he didn't. He ran another small stakes at 7. So so my point is, this horse can the sire ran on the turf and won on the turf. They on the first time out, did they put Terranova put this horse on the dirt? It was a muddy track. I mean, he showed a little speed, bump start. I'd throw that race out. He's been working 2 races on the turf, and the price is hard to resist. I think morning line right now is 5 or 6 to 1. I mean, the actual wager is 5 or 6 to 1. So so give me. I want 5 Lough on top, and I mean, if I was doing a second ticket, I mean, we could go with the 7 or 8. I think I'll lean to the 8, the first time starter, because. There's Donegal Racing. I just love the way that horse has been worked out. So it's 5-8 for me in the first race at Saratoga.
For me, I have to take the 7. And the reason is because Jack Sisterson is only a 10% trainer. But what's interesting is in 20 races, he's 30%. So he knows where to put a horse first time out. And he puts this horse in that race. And so he knew something. And the horse comes back here. So I have to go with the 7. The 8's going to be your favorite. Currently 8-5 favorite, 7-5 on the E morning line, but the 7 horse is 6-5 on the E morning line. Look at the 8 horse has 2 back-to-back bullet works. So I mean, we know the horse is fast, but that was on the dirt. But look at the horse's GSRs just altogether are not that great. I don't think the mare was all that. No, I mean the mare really wasn't anything. Didn't do anything in 5 lifetime tries in maiden special weights, but obviously they wanted to breed her, and so they protected her. But it's hard for me to get by these works. Now, this isn't the strongest field in the world, probably. But it's hard for me to get by such poor GSRs. But I guess if this horse was going to run good, it would be in turf, because the turf tab is the highest by a substantial amount. So, but I got to take Encanto. It's easy. All right, let's go to race number 2.
Okay, race number 2. We've got a New York bred maiden special weight, 1.16 on the inner turf for 2-year-olds. Another possible guessing game here, but I had a couple of opinions. I might. So you run the simulator, and let's see.
Yeah, let's do that. And then Epicenter said that he owns a part of Real Savvy, the 9 horse. So we'll take a look at the 9 a little bit closer.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hey, Chris. Good morning. Hey, Patrick.
Good morning,
Epicenter.
Chris. Good morning, Patrick. So Scythian is. I think this race is between the 1 and the 2. I think the 6 horse is more of a sprinter, and I think the 8 horse is an interesting long shot. You might want to look at it, even though it's only 1% to win. It's 5-1 in the E morning line. It's a second-time starter, so this horse might be able to improve. It has a good workout. Bruno liked this workout in this horse. Said the horse was under a stranglehold. But Scythian, the 1 horse, certainly looks the bill here. This horse ran a very good race last time out, got second, and the workout's really good for Bruno. Goes 27% win. GSR drops a little bit, and this horse has some speed. So, but I think that I would probably go with the 1 horse over the 2.
Okay, I think we see this race pretty similarly. I'm just going to go with the 2 over the 1. Iron Max now was Engelhardt put this horse on the turf first time out at Saratoga, 5.5 furlongs, and got off slow and did close. This horse was 9th and closed up and got a 4th. So a good starter race, a good race to begin his career. And then the second time out, they wanted to stretch this horse out on the turf, and it was cut back off the turf to cut back to a mile. So they had plans to stretch this horse out in any case on the turf. So comes back to its preferred surface, and it even almost won that race on the dirt. Just finished another close. It stayed closer to the pace that day. Yeah. And then the one thing, too, that I'd like to note here that's encouraging, at least in my eyes, is this horse was bet both times out. Under 4-1 in the first time a 10-horse field and an 8-horse field. So they have some obviously high hopes for this horse. Yeah. And the other horse is first-time turf, a contender, Scythian. Love the breeding, but I think it's a toss-up between the 2, and I think the 2 can stalk the 1, and Castellano can have this horse in a perfect position. So it's 2 over the 1 for me in race 2 at Saratoga.
All right, let's look at the 9 horse real quickly. Sure. To see what kind of look this horse has. Obviously, loses Rosario, gets Flavian Pratt. Let's look to see if they've made any changes to Real Savvy. On the turf for the first time, off the dirt. And this horse didn't see. I don't know what the story is with this horse. I mean, we don't see it. First of all, it's dropping in GSR from 66 to 52. But the good news is the simulated race actually has this 9 horse only a length behind the 2 horse for the win. So, I mean, this could be an absolute grab bag. I don't know. Maybe it's deeper than just the 1 and the 2 horse. Based on the race simulator, it is, and the 9 horse is right there. It's a real tough one to judge because I will say this: it went off as the favorite, and Christophe Clement is 16% with first-time starters and second-time starters. I don't know what to think about this one. I lean against only because if your thought is, okay, we ran really poorly the first time out, so now let's do turf. I think they're trying turf to see if the horse runs better. I don't think they have much confidence as to what the heck happened in that first start.
Well, Scotty, this horse, the 9, comes out of the same race as Iron Max. So that race was originally scheduled for the turf. That was an off the turf race. So they had plans for the turf. This horse didn't run well.
Oh, okay, it was off
Yeah,
the turf.
yeah. So the bottom line is Iron Max had outfinished this horse pretty considerably on the dirt, though. So now we have a different surface. So they're looking for turf. This is Christopher Clement. So what can I say? You don't want me picking Epicenter. You don't want me picking a Clement horse as a public handicapper. So I'm gonna pass. So maybe you can have a better chance of winning at Clement. But so yeah, good luck. But this horse is eligible.
So they wanted turf. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
no, that changes things. I will say this:
Yeah.
the dirt tab is much higher than the turf tab. So, and it's not usually wrong. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
This
definitely a contender, and picks up Pratt. Rosario off, Pratt on, which is to me another positive. And the 6 was
by the way, I would try to beat this horse.
Yes.
This 6 horse. And not because it's turf or dirt, but I will say this. First of all, this horse ran decent here against a 46 group, was 14%. It was a 66 GSR. But you see 6 furlongs on the turf. This horse, in my opinion, wants no part of this. If you look at the GSR Plus grid, everything is sprint. Everything is sprint. This is a sprinter.
Right. And Iron Max beat him by 17 lengths on the dirt. But now, I'm not saying that compares to turf versus turf, because we've seen that before. And it's one of my angles where I don't care what the race is on the dirt. This is a different surface. You could have a different horse, as long as the breeding is there and the horse picks up to it. So, you can have, I've had major scores with a horse, 2 dirt races finishing 8th and 10th, and then stretches out on the turf first time out, and the horse wins at 20-1. So, one surface doesn't have anything to do with the other.
I will say this before we leave this. Look, at this race might be way more than just the 1 and the 2. It's just because you have horses, even like the 9 horse, that are second-time starters, that something maybe happened and only the connections know. And for that reason, it can't help you on your horizontal bets, but it can help you on your vertical bets. So you want to watch the betting very, very closely. So when you sort the EE morning line, like as an example, the 9 horse is 12-1. If all of a sudden you see that 9 horse at 4-1 or 5-1, something's going on here.
Right. And the thing with these 2-year-olds is that we've seen it before. Off their first or second start, sometimes there's rapid improvement. You're like, wow, because they're learning the game. They're getting old. They're developing into an actual racehorse. And then in the beginning of the 3-year-old years, you can see drastic improvement from race to race. So, that horse has got a shot, but I'll go with Iron Max over as my top pick still.
Okay. What's up, Mike?
Hello, Mike. Thanks for joining.
So anyways, just watch the betting closely in a race like this, because it can be a huge tell, especially when you see the race simulator and you see this. I mean, this is really interesting. I mean, it's really saying that only the 5 and the 11 are not going to be competing in here. And but even that, they're only 2.5 lengths back. So you know what I mean? And steady to start, this 5 horse is, no reason why this Mike Maker. There's no reason why. I'm just saying, like, this is an absolute grab bag. There's 2 ways to play it. You're going to go with the 1 and 2, and that's it, or you're going to spread, or something and you single a horse. If you're able to single a horse in a race like this and get by it, and you're playing a horizontal, you killed it, David.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Like, because most people are going to spread, get a 9-2 shot. It's not sexy, and it's just this. These are the types of pitfalls right here that people fall into. Is a race like this that looks so wide open, and
I think part of the problem with a lot of horse players, and this was my problem in the past, is that if you're playing these horizontals, you're using too many horses sometimes. If I have to use 5 or 6 horses in a race in maybe a 10-horse field, maybe I should relook at that race or just pass on the horizontal. To me, that's too many horses, at least for my taste. And because, look at it this way. If you're using 5 horses, 4 of them are going to be losers in your horizontals, right? So then it takes away how much you can spread on other races. So, Yep. So sometimes you just have to have the guts and say, okay, I'm singling. And I like to single in the first leg because then I know I'm either in or out. And so I either play a pick 3, follow me, so I can kind of leverage off that original wager.
So Patrick brought up this 4 horse, who, by the way, was sitting there waiting for the outside horse and who's being prodded right now. And Mozad was never really even asked. Look at, even now, he's letting the other horse go. I mean, I have a feeling that this horse might be better than looks. I think you might have found one there. That was a really interesting work. You watch here in the beginning. You see, look at the exercise rider's waiting on the other horse. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, though. It looked to me like the Mozad had more horse on the inside and let the other horse go. Do you think that's a thing? I would imagine. Listen. It wouldn't put it past me to see them play games and let one horse go over the other. Look at the outside horse. I mean, he's like pushing. I don't know what he's doing there. He's like putting his wrists on the horse's mane. I don't know what's happening there, but you can see the elbows inside here. I mean, he let the other horse go. I would imagine that's what it looked like to me.
It looks like the inside horse wants to go and is on the wraps. It's just
that's
basically
just what it looked like to me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So maybe this first-time starter Mozad is a horse that should be added. That's a really interesting. To me the 4 horse looked good, but you have to know what you're looking at. And I'll tell you what, you got Riley Mott and Dylan Davis. I mean, Riley Mott's not known for his first-time starters, but Riley Mott can train. And
I'm going to take a shot that the Mott's, it's just like his dad, likes to give a horse a race or two, is not always looking to win first time out.
Yeah. Interesting. That was an interesting work. I will say this about it. I don't like the GSR at 43. I don't like that. I'm going to stick with, I'm not going to change.
Yeah. Bernardini's, he's a Bernardini. Unfortunately, that's one of my favorite horses. But if this horse had a race over the dirt first, I might be more inclined to play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Okay. Race number 3. You have, by the way, 12 minutes. So we've got to go through 4 more races. Yes. So I'll speed it up. This is an absolute paceless race. In fact, I don't think I have ever seen, I don't care if it's 10 furlongs, that when the top pace number was only 38.
38,
now, that's crazy. But here's what I'm thinking. Which of these jockeys is the most aggressive jockey? Which one of these jockeys is going to send their horse here? Because I'm going to predict right now that whichever horse gets the lead wins this race.
Yeah, that could be it. And, Kendrick Carmouche is probably the most aggressive of these jocks. But, this a mile and an eighth, 2 turns on the dirt is kind of my specialty in New York. And you're right. I haven't seen a race like this. And I will tell you this, I'm totally against Laurel Network, the 3. You got to show me this horse has been off for a really long time. This horse ran at Jerome, Gander, Woodhaven, came back off that long layoff and basically didn't really run so well. I originally looked at, I want somebody close to the pace, and I think I've got Cut the Quarter as my original pick, the outside post with Carmouche. I think you could use 2 here, and that's what I'd be interested in doing. I always like to see a horse that has won at a mile and an eighth. And we don't have much of that here. The 5 did last time with Katie Davis on a sloppy track. You got to show me on a fast. So I narrowed it down to either the 6 or the 1. So I'm going to go with the 1, a longer price horse, boss moves. I like the cozy rail post. Hopefully Vasquez can have this horse closer to the pace. I love that cozy post. Jacobson off the claim. You never know what you're getting with Jacobson, but I'll take a shot. 3rd race off a layoff, has won at the distance twice, has won 2 races at Saratoga. So I'm going to take the 1, boss moves, over the 6, cut the cord. And Jacobson, by the way, is 14% off the claim.
Let me give you another take on the 3 horse, and let's just talk about this real quickly, because this is going to most likely be your favorite. It's even money on the EE morning line. First of all, this horse has been facing better horses all along. had the layoff last time out and broke last and still only lost by 5 lengths and awkward strides early. This horse is not bred for turf. It's look at the tabs. It wants dirt. Now it's getting dirt. The GSR goes up 10 points. The win percentage goes up from 6% to 33%. And it's going from a 66 SOR to a 62 SOR, and it's second off the layoff. How is this horse not live?
I hate this horse, Scotty. This horse is too slow. That's just my opinion. I followed this horse last year, and if you look at the races in 2023, Cloud Computer broke his maiden on a maiden muddy tracks in New York State bred, and ran okay. But I just don't think that this horse is really. First of all, I don't know if it wants to go a mile and an eighth. So to me, this horse is a total throwout. I don't want any part of this horse in Laurel Network.
All right, so we have to talk about the 4 horse, who's going to probably be your second choice in the race. And let me tell you what my take is. I watched the last race. This horse came back with all sorts of mud on his face. I mean, it was the only horse that was dirty, and it was very slow in the stride. I mean, 0 speed this horse has, and there's no speed in here. So does that help this horse be closer to the pace, or it makes it worse because they'll go slower up front and be able to finish?
I think with Santana on, I think it'll be closer to the pace. I like his aggressiveness. He's normally aggressive, getting his horses in good position. But
no, it's going to be closer to the pace because there is no pace.
Yeah.
But this horse, I watched that race. I mean, this horse, it was just one paced as it gets. I mean, they should send this horse 10 furlongs is what they should do. This horse literally has no speed. So I don't expect this horse to be, well, here's the thing. This is crazy. This horse was probably 7-8 lengths back at the start. And now, because there's no pace in the race, it's showing this horse being a half a length back. Maybe that helps this horse because it was muddy last time out and it had 2 prior wins. I tend to lean against a horse like this because it's naturally it doesn't really have speed, and it's going to be a slow pace, and some of the other horses will be able to outfinish the horse. But I don't know. It's look at this race. I mean, it looks like a tough race. I throw out the 2 horse Wild Banker, but you're on the 1 horse who's 7-1 on the EE morning line. Pratt off the 3, man, you really threw me off on that one. I was all over the 3, and now I don't know what to do.
No, don't let me talk you out of it. Don't let me talk you out of it.
No, Cut the Cord. What was it about Cut the Cord you liked?
I like Cut the Cord because I believe with Carmouche, this horse will be right near the lead, even though there's no pace, like I said. This horse is 1 over the track. I am a little concerned with the mile and an eighth races. However, if you look on July 13th, 23, at a mile and an eighth, this horse had a second to Dust Devil. Okay. And then after that, at a mile on this track, 1. So this horse has an affinity for the Saratoga surface. Last race out, 3rd race off a layoff, at a mile, I think, this horse, I think, has got a big chance. So if I have 2 tickets, I originally made him my top pick, but then looking at the lack of pace, I'm like, I'd rather have the rail. So to me, it's a close call between the 1 and the 6.
All right, I'm going to stick with the 3 horse, and let's go to race number 4. We have only 5 minutes, so we're going to be super speed handicapping right now. All right, tell me what you like.
Okay, I'm just going to go to my notes. We got 6.5 furlongs, 50,000 allowance starter allowance. The 4 Dillinger for Brittany Russell, based off its last 2 races. I don't know how you play against. Won by 6.5 lengths at 25,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. Moved up to a 7 furlong allowance. Had the lead and kind of packed it in. Cuts back from 7 to 6.5. Looks like a go for me. And the second pick would have been the 7. So it's 4-7. Showtime. Off the claim for Sister Sin at Churchill. Fished some good horses at Churchill, also better horses at Santa Anita. 4-7.
All right, I like Bernito a little bit. Bromito, the 1A or the 1 horse, but I'm going to go with the 4 horse as well. It's a flat bet profit. 32% of the time, horses are the top win, top GSR, and top EE pick win. So Let's go with the 4-horse Dillinger. All right, race number 5. We have a 4-horse race. Half the field's been cut.
Yeah, I'll start because we don't have time. Backstretch Rose was my original pick without the scratches. Backstretch Rose has no speed at all. Backstretch Rose has to close off the claim for Abreu. With the scratches, it kind of throws this race up in the air for me. So I think I'm going with somebody who's got some speed. I don't love the horse, but I'm going to go with Pam Pam, the 5. I figure this horse will be stalking or right on the lead. Picks up Irad, who's obviously wants to win this title, jockey title. So I'm going to take the 5 over the 1 in this race. Pam Pam over Backstretch Rose. And let me change that in my picks because I had a different horse.
Front gate Eagle Trace.
1 second. Hello. Yes, please. Thank you. Look, you're right. I mean, there is no speed. I mean, the 1 horse, even though the simulated race has this horse winning fairly easily, there just is no speed. But will the 4 and the 5 duel? They're equally as fast. The 5's got more class in it looks like than the 4 does. I think you could see those 2 duels. So okay, I'm going to stick with the 1 horse. I think
okay, makes sense. Makes total sense.
Right.
And then the last
as well.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, race number 6. We got 1 more race. Here we go.
All right, I summed this up and narrowed it down to 2 horses that I would want. It's either the 1 or the 6. West Hollywood off his last race. I mean, it was a bang-up race over the inner course. Now goes to the Mellon. This is Saranax, the Grade 3 stakes race. But the other horse, the horse I really want is the 6, The Process with Sherry DeVoe. Based on his last 2 races, a big improvement going a mile at Colonial Downs, and where this horse was just a prohibitive favorite in a 9-horse field. To me, this horse is sitting on a huge race. I'm more than ready. I love the sire, and I think this horse stalks stretching out mile and 16th. So it's 6 over the 1 for me.
I'm on the 6. That's the horse that I gave out on the weekend preview show yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on The Process as well.
Process.
All right, let's go. Let's see. We got 2 minutes before this race. Look at we picked that up a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
Sometimes it's better, right? Sometimes I think we think too much about these races and overanalyze them. Yep. But again, I had them all on my notes because you know me. Preparation is the key to my success, and I realized that a couple of years ago.
That's true. I'm with you on that, by the way.
Now, again, have I gone to the racetrack without adequately preparing? Oh, many times, because I love being at the track. I'm like, I'm going to go to the track. I didn't really handicap, and then you start handicapping when you get there. But for the purpose of this show, to me, and even tournaments, it's much more important to prepare. If you're going for a relaxing day at the track, have fun. Have fun. You handicap when you get there, no big deal. If you're trying to win, you're trying to make a big scores. I think for me, at least, I realized about 3 or 4 or 5 years ago that preparation is the key to my success.
So after this first race at Saratoga, which we can't show you, but we'll play the sound. We'll start with the first race in the feeder or in the qualifier. By the way, I just made a note here because the simulated race actually had this horse like right there, and this horse is currently 26 to 1. You can see the EE morning line's 25 to 1. I like the more accurate the EE morning line is with a horse live when I'm watching a race. I like to play that horse. I don't know. There's just something about that, even though it's higher than what the odds makers morning line is. In fact, I like that a lot more even because the odds maker at Saratoga and Belmont, the New York one, David, I forget his last name.
Aragona?
Aragona is so good. He's the best morning line odds maker there is. I like the fact that he thought this horse should be 12 to 1. Dale Romans is only 3% with first-time starters, but the simulated race had that there. It's big owners in West Point Thoroughbred. So I'm just saying, like maybe if you look here, this horse is only a length and a quarter back of the 7 and the 4 and the 8 are right there. Look, even the 4 horse, Nod to Tran. This horse is 39 to 1. So you know what I mean? Why not throw a couple of bucks, on that? So In fact, I'm going to do the 7 and 8 with the 7 and 8 in here, and I'll put the 4 and the 6 in the third spot.
No love for my 5. I was taking a ton of money, 4-1.
I don't know how you listen. Initially, I would try to challenge you on some of it just for fun. This horse is 19%. I will say that it's, but I don't like the 13-point drop in GSR. But the win percentage goes up. It's seemingly facing a little bit easier. Terra Nova is only 10% with second-time starters. I'm a big Saez fan actually, but I'm gonna play against. No. But I think the 8 horse is the real deal in here. I didn't like the low GSR there as well.
Yeah, that's the thing with sometimes you look, you're like, I like this horse, but then you look at the GSR, I'm like, okay, well, that makes you question your analysis at times. Hello, Lexi. Thanks for joining.
I don't look at the GSR for me as a tool just to see if a horse wants that surface and distance against the field mostly. And I'll compare it to itself, but you also have to compare it to the field. And so that's why we have the one that's on RaceView that shows you all the horses and what their numbers are. And then you can go to the Handy View past performances and compare those numbers against the horse itself. And 7 horse at 9 to 5, this horse would be 1 to 5 if it wasn't for the 8 being in the race.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But so who do you have here again, Scotty?
I'm on the 7 horse.
The 7, okay, because it was so fast I didn't have a chance to write all of them down. Okay, good luck, everybody. They're loading the gate. You want me to turn my sound up, or you got it?
I got it.
Okay.
How much fun is this, right? We get to play the races and talk about them. Big time even start. That's no joke.
Look at that. We got a speed duel up front. We got a speed.
Crazy.
They're really going. My horse might get burned out in the speed duel.
At 9, Code of Justice is super fast.
Yeah, that looks like it's compromising the 5.
The 8 horse is super fast. Look at that 8.
Yep.
Wow. 21 and 3 is super fast.
Well, I'm glad Saez backed off that because he looks like in his good position here. Now he's bottled up. Nowhere to go. He's looking for a spot. He's got tons of horse, but I don't know if he's going to get out. Oh, wait, got to the outside. It's over. Come on. Between. He doesn't want to go between.
Evan is having a horrific trip. Horrific trip. I mean, you want the 7 being best is an understatement.
Look at this. Yep. Wow. 8-1-2. Yeah, my second pick, and I only had 1 ticket because I put it in quick. My second pick wins the race. I don't have it, so I had 5-8. But yeah.
But I can tell you that the 7 horse, you should put a note on that horse. Absolutely horrific trip.
Yep.
I mean, I wasn't impressed with the ride Castellano gave that horse either, to be honest with you. Yeah.
And also the 5, it looks like he's having trouble with this horse a little bit. Wanted to go between, outside. And then what happens? It looks like either the horse is stopping or he got checked there. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to actually follow this the 7 horse back. Let's see here.
And you got a 29-1 shot as second, Jack's Promise. So that's your contest horse. You got a probably $18, $20 place price there.
Yeah, the eight. What's up, Oldie?
Hey, Oldie.
Yeah, I mean the 8 horse ran huge, no doubt about it. Gate to wire, ran good. A lot of speed. You can see the 2 bullet workouts here, no doubt about it. Ran good. Irad gave the horse a good ride. Encanto, terrible ride.
And Sisterson's other horse, Sisterson had 2 in the race. So his other horse finished second, Gene and Jude.
Yeah. Ran huge.
Hey, Jude. Hey, Gene.
That 4-horse, by the way, Nod to Tran, came really flying with some interest.
Yeah.
We talked about that horse a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that horse, if you look at it, that horse wants longer. So another one that, this could be a race that's pretty strong. Horses come out of a good race. I have a feeling this might be one of those.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I like watching more than wagering on these 2-year races, because you can pick up a lot. And there's nothing wrong with discipline and passing races just to take trip notes. And because many times I've looked at horses, I'm like, okay, I want that 2-horse back. Or you see bad trips, like Scotty just mentioned. I've seen a number of horses that I thought were flying in the back of the pack. If they got any room, they'd be up for 2nd or 3rd, and they finish 5th or 6th. A lot of people don't pick that up. So, next time out sometimes is the better spot.
Yeah. By the way, I thought I'd bring this up. So I was looking at Gulfstream Park, and I wanted to give an example of the types of, like, how you can use the GSR. So I'll show you. So you see this 2-horse Sudoku, Terry. So here's a horse that the only time this horse has been on dirt was its very first start, and it was sprinting, and it was a 63 GSR, and it showed a little bit, and then it stopped. There was only 2% to win. It's a very strong maiden field over at Gulfstream Park. That time of year, forget about it. Like, those are the best of the best in the championship meet. Okay. But watch, you can see the GSRs, right? And the horse is trying. The horse is running almost every single time. SORs are decent, 46, 40, 52, decent. And then you come over and you look at the GSR plus grid and click on dirt. This horse wants dirt long. This is the type of horse you're looking for to claim. Now, you could claim it at this level. Go to the condition book and see what's coming up on dirt that's longer. But this horse is trying on surfaces that it really doesn't want, and it's not bad on the turf. It really is not. You can click on this, and it's decent, but especially on the dirt. And so and you could go through all the claiming races wherever you want, wherever you're located, and this is where. And I actually considered claiming this horse today, actually, but I put a note on this to wait until this horse maybe drops to 16 or 20 or who knows, maybe even 12.5. And claim this horse, because it'll keep on running like this if they keep this horse here and don't put it on dirt long. And it's still trying. Now, if it wasn't trying and it's running like hell, that's a different story. But the win percentages are decent for this horse always, and it keeps on trying, but it just needs to go on dirt, right? So that's another way that you can utilize. You know where this is also going? Do you know we're going to be able to predict? You'll be able to look at horses that you're trying to claim, and we're going to be able to take the condition books and predict approximately what a horse's win percentage would be if you were to claim this horse and put it in its next race.
Really?
Yeah. That's where some of the technology is actually going in horse racing, and we're working on. We're at the head of all that.
Okay. Yep. That's real helpful, because the claiming game is a little tricky, can be profitable if you pick your spots, right? I always wanted to claim a horse before Saratoga meet who had a lot of off-track form, and then put it in as AEs in these turf races, because the AEs with some of these bad weather days, the scratches, sometimes you get a purse of $100,000 for a $25,000 claimer, and then you're dealing with a 5-horse field, and now you're in really good shape to get some purse money. So so that might be coming down the pike in the future. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see, what is the first. The very first race that we've got is Saratoga, race number 10 in the qualifier.
Race 10, Saratoga. Let me pull up that on EquinEdge, Saratoga.
A lot of jockey movement. We'll look at that closer, but you can see, like, Flavian gets off of the 6-horse, who's since been scratched. Also gets off of the 10-horse. Principe de Oro didn't run very good with Pratt aboard. Pratt's been aboard a couple of times. It looks like, when I look at this horse, I see a horse that needs the lead. I mean, all the best races for this horse are on the lead. And so let's see if this is a horse that we can eliminate based on pace. And you can see there's 3 other horses that look faster than this horse. And so I think fairly easily we can eliminate the 10.
Not so fast.
Oh,
Not so
shit.
fast, my friend.
Oh.
Hold on. I can't say that. Lee Corso has got a patent on that. Yeah, I think this 10 Principe d'Oro is a little tricky here. I know the last 2 races have been awful, but to me, this horse has got a fighting shot. If you look back on July 18th, it was this was run out of that Wilson chute. And if you watch races regularly at Saratoga, the rail post to me is so tricky because you're breaking from that chute and you're on the inside and you see how that turn comes up with the rail right there. And I'm looking at a head-on on some of those races. I'm like, shit, that horse is not going to make that turn. And then a lot of them get squeezed. So you really got a gun from there. So that was a 1 post. Now this horse draws the outside. The last race, bobbled, star tired. I mean, I know the term, this horse is dirtied up with those last 2. I mean, this is a horse I would consider, but I would think now with Chilino out, who I thought was a solid play for first or second, I'm going to use the 10 as my second pick. The horse that I'm going to end up landing on here is the 8 Harvard. Now, I know that Rob Atras is 1 for 22 at the meet. Carmouche is a 7% jockey, but keep in mind, he's not picking up the most, amounts that are beneficial to him. He's riding when he can, and winning 7 races at Saratoga for a guy like Kendrick is fine. He doesn't pick up the cream of the crop in a lot. So this horse, I mean, if you look at the distance, it is that 1 mile chute. He draws pretty good for that. I don't like the rail. So hold on a second. The 8 post is acceptable. And if you go back, I mean, this horse has some back form at Oaklawn Park at a mile where he ran a bang up race to Running Ray. He ran in the Nerude, a grade 2 race in 2022. Long layoffs. Hasn't seemed to come back as fast. But I just think if you go 2 back on that, even that turf race, he seemed to show a little life. Finished a 3rd to Zapruder. And the last time out, he has another turf race. So he goes back to his preferred surface. He's won 2 races. So I'm going to take a shot with the 8 Harvard over the 10 Principe d'Oro.
Okay. The GSR goes up 10 points. The win percentage up a little bit. Is moving up in class a bit. But the win percentage goes up. Usually that's an indicator to me that the race is wide open. And I think that's what we're looking at here. You can see in the stretch, look at the 12 horse, like this 12 horse, but there's just a wall of them that are closing. And I don't know what to think about this race. The 9 horse is very interesting as well. That's Money, who's 6-1, the EquinEdge long shot. Dave, when you look at horses, because obviously pace makes the race, and you look at horses like this 9 horse. When I look at this horse, I see a horse that looks to need the lead for its best. Do you see that same thing here, or what would be your case? What's your positive case to make for this 9?
Yeah, I think if this horse has any chance, he's got to be first or second coming out of the gate, and probably be stalking the 7. I mean, this horse has got an outside shot. I don't love the way Bruce Brown's barn's been going, but and that last race seems a little cheaper than that. That was off a layoff, so second race off a layoff is an angle. So if you tell me you like the 9, I wouldn't talk you out of it. This is some of these older claiming races or even or allowance race is a $35,000 claimer. They're very competitive. These horses sometimes take turns beating each other based on the trip and the distance and what have you. So yeah, I see the 9.
I'm kind of leaning towards this 2 horse off the layoff. Flavian Pratt jumps aboard, and I'll tell you why. The horse has speed. It's tactical, going around this chute, and it's going to save ground from the inside. Flavian's going to give this horse a good ride, and the trainer. 12% off, off the layoff. Let's take a look at the workouts. The workouts, there's nothing on them. What do you make of this 2-horse with Tasha?
Yeah, I don't love the layoff, Scotty. I'd let this horse beat me. I'd give this horse a race. The back. This horse hasn't been out since November of 23, blushing. And yeah, there was a voided claim back on that November 12th race. So that always worries me. And this horse was a favorite in a 5-horse field and couldn't get it done, finished second. So yeah, that layoff concerns me. So this, to me, this is a pass on the 2.
And when you see a horse like this that's been racing on the turf the last 3 tries, but it's earned way more money on the dirt, do you have a problem with the surface changes? And how do you think a horse handles these surface changes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm running on the turf and all of a sudden on the dirt, even though the GSR goes up, I mean, this is an increase in GSR for the 4-horse I'm talking about here. What do you make of what a horse has to go through changing surfaces like this?
Yeah, I think in cases like this, the trainer, Brad Cox, is just looking for answers on his horse. I mean, this horse off a layoff won at Pimlico going a mile, and then none was a 2, 30,000 claimer, and that looked like a really weak race. And then moved up to Aqueduct, 35,000. Didn't really. This horse had no speed, and again, this horse has won 1 race on the turf and 1 race on the dirt that was a wet track. And it looks like, man, this horse has got no speed at all. And to me, this horse would be a reach. It's another horse I don't want any part of going a mile.
Yeah. So if we sort from the inside, let's look at the first call. So this is what the first call potentially looks like here. And that is the 12-horse shooting from that outside post. Not a great place to be. You and I both know that. And it looks like the 7-horse is probably going to shoot for the lead. And it looks like the 9-horse is going to probably shoot for the lead. So you're going to see these 3 horses going. And I don't think we think any 3 of these are going to stay around, right?
Probably not. Probably not.
If we assume that, we get rid of these, let's just go ahead and do that. Then this is what it looks like. Now we're looking at the 10. You happen to like this horse a little bit.
Yes.
And, right. And so here's what the race looks like. Let's just assume that the 7, 9, and 12 stop. This is what we're looking at in the race.
And the 12's not in the race, Scotty.
Yeah, no, I took it out on purpose.
Hold on a second. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. Gotcha.
Right. No, what I'm saying is it's going to be shooting to the lead from that outside post at the shoot. So let's just assume, and it's going to be dueling with the 7 and 9. I don't think the 12 gets the best trip here. So let's just say we throw out the 7, 9, and 12. Then what do you make? This is what the race looks like here. Can you make a case for the 11, or is that post position just too bad and the horse has no speed?
Yeah, I mean, because it's a 1 turn, it's not like, having that outside post going 2 turns where we're going to lose a lot of ground around in the first clubhouse turn there. I mean, yeah, no, I'd rather draw a little further inside, but yeah, this again, like I said, these $35,000 claimers for older horses they're really competitive. You can get prices out of these races. So I wouldn't talk anybody out of any horse except with Tasha and Emirates Road. So I could throw the 2 and the 4 out and maybe the 5, but anybody else you want to use, it's fine with me.
No, and I would look, if you really look carefully at this horse, I mean, look at this horse. The last 4 races, I mean, this horse is last 5 races. This horse is just always trying, always running good. Win percentage drops though under Abreu claiming this horse last time out for 25, and Abreu is 20% with first time claims. So, I mean, he does pretty good.
Yeah, no. Again, it's a horse that's got a shot. I just think he might be a little cheaper than some of these in here.
So let's sort the SOR in here. The SOR's got the 8 horse on top. Harvard. You might have a good horse here.
He's probably a smart horse. His name is Harvard.
Yeah, that's true.
But we know what kind of grade he got.
Well, you've got the top SOR. You've got a GSR that's going up a lot. and win percentage competes in here. It looks like a wide open race, and you're 5-1 in the E-morning line. Tell me again, just real quickly, before we go on to the next race, what it is about Emirates Road you don't like.
Yeah, I just think that Emirates Road, Scotty, this horse has absolutely no speed. And I think they're reaching with this horse now. 3 races on the turf. The prior 2 were on the synthetic at Turfway Park. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 layoff lines. I just think they're reaching, to be honest with you. And yeah, I think this horse may have seen better days and is going to be dropping further. But it's just, to me, it's not a horse. He's 2 for 14 lifetime. Again, some tough spots, but bouncing back and forth between turf, synthetic, dirt. And again, I don't love that they're trying. I'd rather go with the 10 over than the 4. The 10's a proven dirt horse.
Listen, and we did this last week. You had a 6 horse last week that went off at 14-1. I hated the horse. Remember, we talked to the trainer. Okay. And it kind of looked like this. Now, it didn't have as many races. I think it had like 6 or 7 races. But you didn't see any ability to rate whatsoever in that 6 horse, just like you don't here. Genuine here, a question. For me, how am I supposed to like this 10 horse based on its style when there's so much more speed, faster speed in this race? How is the 10 supposed to win this race? Exactly.
Well, yeah, I hear you, but just look at the equipment change too. This horse had blinkers last 2 times out. Blinkers off, so maybe they're trying to rate the horse a little bit off the speed. But again, if Jose Gomez guns his horse out and gets in the speed duel, it's over. So I think they got probably the instructions are to rate this horse because of the blinkers off. And the blinkers on really didn't help this horse. But there's something about this horse. Bobbled start the last time out. This horse, if you go back and bump break, 3 back, stuttered step back last year at Churchill, just always seems to find issues. But I mean, this horse is 5 out of 13 in the money. On his best day, this horse, and plus it drops back down to a 35 claimer. On his best day, this horse is going to be competitive here.
Yeah. All right. So you're going with the 8 horse Harvard, who certainly you make a really good case for. And I'm going to take a chance with this 5 horse Warrior, Richard. I think the race sets up for this horse. Going to save some ground on the inside. The horse has some tactical speed. At least if you look here at the simulated race, this horse might not be that far back. And so you can see that it's finishing pretty good. I'm considering going with the 11 horse on the other one, but on my other entry. But this horse in non-winners of 3 last time out didn't run a terrible race. It's I'm going to give it a shot. Sharp claims the horse for 25, puts it in for 35. He's 21%. Dylan Davis jumps aboard, and I think Dylan Davis is always good for 1 or 2 long shots in a day.
And he did lose to Principe de Oro 2 back, but give him the excuse. He stumbled at the break. This horse broke its maiden, Warrior Richard, for 20K back last year. I think he might be a little cheap for this field, but puts blinkers on, and Sharp is a sharp trainer. I'll put it to you that way. So yeah, I'm not going to talk out of the 5. I'd rather talk out of the 2 or the 4. I think that 5's got a better shot and a better price.
Yeah, he's adding blinkers, and so I was kind of counting on that maybe that might help. And then there's going to be a lot of speed up front, and this horse doesn't have a ton of speed, but this horse will do well with the speed that we're about to see. So. All right, I'm gonna go there. So you're on the 8. I'm gonna go to the 5. All right. So next race we're gonna go to is Saratoga, race number 11.
And Chris, I think you know the answer. Do I like the Wilson Shoot? I don't like that. No, I don't like the Wilson Shoot. Every time I watch that head on, like I said, it looks like the inside 2 horses aren't going to make that turn. I think it's a dangerous type of positioning there for that. I'm not that comfortable with that shoot.
All right. So let's see what we got here. Let's run this race.
Okay, 11th race at Saratoga. Got an optional claimer, 35,000 fillies and mares. All right, let me just pull it up. I took notes last night and this morning on this race.
Yeah.
And as my wife was sensing my frustration because I was muttering some expletives. She says, "What are you doing? I thought you liked doing this." I'm like, "I do. I can't figure out who the F is going to win this race." And I put UG next to it. So, but then you come up with, it's like, okay, this is a mandatory in NHC. You've got to play it. So
yeah,
I got to pick. I think this race, Scotty, you might agree, is just so wide open. It's just, you got, to me, it's like you could have 6 or 7 horses could win this race. It's just crazy.
So I'm going to sort.
On turf.
Well, let's dissect this thing. So you can see it's a possibility that the 3-horse Shaman Princess can get the lead. It's a possibility from what we can see here. Does that hurt Candy Girl to 5? Yeah. Well, the six looks just as fast based on the simulated race as the 5, which could hurt the 5. But is Saez is a pretty aggressive jockey, so he might send, which could hurt the 5. And then look at the 1-horse. The 1 the entire time is only sitting about 3 lengths back, even though the pace number is low on the 1. It looks like, and the 1's got a 15% number. The 1's never really that far back, and whereas the 10-horse is. So it's interesting. 4-1 on this 1-horse. Flavian Pratt sits on the inside and makes a run based on what we're just seeing right here. The only concern is this. Obviously, 2 wins in 29 races, has 9 seconds. I mean, the horse tries every single time, but what is that? Is that there's got to be something to that, right? 9 seconds. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, that's what happens with a horse who's a sprinter, turf sprinter, who's got no early speed. He's got to weave his way through horses. He's always flying, and you don't know if you're getting there unless you get the right trip. So he's got a third, a second, and a second. So he's breaking the door down. But the rail post, I don't love the rail. It's even trickier weaving through traffic. And then he's got to compete with another horse that we just saw last week, right? Linerite, the 10, who we said has got no speed, but he's always flying at the end. He always gives you a good run. I look at how many seconds and thirds he has. 1 for 18 lifetime. I thought he was going to get up last time, and he still didn't get up. And then you have your other closer. So to me, you break it down from the closers and the speed. Okay. So in a race like this, I normally want, if I have 2 tickets, I want 1 with a closer and 1 with a speed horse. And I just think that the 2 speeds could burn each other up, but there's not a ton of other speed. I mean, Hurricane Debbie is going to be overbet. Obviously a use, but and so besides Linerite and the rail horse, who's got an even trickier trip from there, then Linerite to me is eligible to win this race because he's got the outside post. But I also think the 9, who I eventually settled on, Tipsy Runner, he's a closer, dead stone closer, just like the 1 and the 10. I'm hoping there'll be a pace. This horse won last time out. Dylan Davis is on fire. He's this was a first time off the claim for Dutrow. Gaston Stables usually uses Terra Nova or Weaver, so this is interesting here. This horse has some bang up races at Churchill and Fairgrounds where this horse is flying. He wasn't able to get up against Candy Girl back at Ellis Park a long time ago last year. So to me, it's a guessing game. I want the better price of all the closers. So I settled on Tipsy Runner with Dylan Day. The way Dylan's been riding, this also 1 for 1, just won over this course last month. So horses for courses, right back. And the other horse I'd consider using on a second ticket, Scotty, and I know this is a reach, is that I want one of the speeds. So I'm going to settle on a 15-to-1 shot, second time off a layoff, the 3 Shaman Princess. If the other speed doesn't get off great, one of these horses could be on a lone lead, and those closers could be, have too much ground to make up. So I am going to go with Tipsy Runner, the 9 as my primary, and the 3 Shaman Princess as my secondary.
And the 2-horse Hurricane Debbie, first time for Safi Joseph. What do you make of this one?
This horse can stay close to the pace. And I like that race that this horse comes out of, and also Shaman Princess comes out of. But, and again, both of these horses, a 2 and a 3, this is the second off a layoff. The 3 is a New York bred. But I just think the only reason I don't want this horse is easily usable if you're using horizontals, is a must use. Is the horse going to be overbet what I ride on it? So I'm looking for a little better of a price, and I'll take the risk. And sometimes in these tournament races, contest races, you see some results that, it's like, how did this 18-to-1 shot win or finish second? I'd take a chance in these 5.5 furlong sprints that there's more chances that your favorites can get blocked or get bad trips. So I'm looking for a little bit of a price.
And for changes, if we look at the changes tab, you can see just some trainer and jockey changes. As far as the record going 5.5 on the turf, here you go. Tipsy Runner has 2 wins and 4 second-place finishes, and none of the other horses has won. The 10-horse Linerite has 2 seconds and 3 thirds, but Tipsy Runner is the only one that's. Oh, actually, I take that back. Candy Girl is 1 for 1, but Tipsy Runner's done it against much better than what Candy Girl has done. Candy Girl is the horse I'm going to settle in on. And the reason is I know it has speed. Second off the layoff for Brad Cox. I have to believe that Franco's going to find a way to get this horse a good trip, and that because this horse is tactical, it's going to be tough. And so the horse likes to win, has 3 wins, 2 wins, and barely lost last time out. I got to believe that this $70,000 purse, it makes a lot of sense why this horse is in this race. Laconia, I had a note. This wasn't a big speed duel, 3 back. Laconia seems to need the lead, so I think the 6 is going to press. I worry about the trip to 5 might get, but I've got to go with the 5.
And Laconia is eligible to win. Beat Linerite 2 back at Aqueduct.
Okay, David, we got what do we have? Do we have Saratoga coming up anytime? Yep, Saratoga race number 2.
They are just on the track. Let me see here.
Race number 2, and
you're the coast, but I believe they just came on the track.
You have the 1, and I have you have the 2, and I have the 1. Right. And look at Real Savvy. Real Savvy's getting bet. Good luck Epicenter. And this is what we were talking about. We were saying that watch the betting very carefully, and look, this one is getting bet.
Mm-hmm.
Where is there any other surprises here? No other surprises. To me, the 1 and the 2 are dead on the board. 9-horse getting bet like this is a surprise. So clearly, this is what you're looking for when you're looking at some of these maiden races and second-time starters and first-time starters. But as far as the betting goes, the 9 obviously is
live horse.
Is a very live horse in this race. Yeah.
Taking a ton of money, Christopher Clement, right? So that'll be the jinx if I use him. But no such luck today.
So how would you play this? Maybe a 1-2-9 exacta box, maybe.
Yeah, there's another horse. Yeah, 1-2-9. It could be a usable. Let me see who else I would.
Actually, Eric makes a good point. So this is Real Savvy is
my race horse.
My racehorse and RT Racing Stable. So, you got all the micro share owners that are betting this horse.
10,000 owners who threw $2 a piece on it. So,
yeah, I mean, maybe this is an opportunity. I mean, I'm rooting for Epicenter and Real Savvy, of course, but still, Scythian and Iron Max make a lot of sense in here. If we're keeping it real and it's not emotional, you're going to have to beat the 1 or 2 for sure.
I agree. Trying to think of that. Yeah, 1-2-9 looks like again, these maiden special weights. I want to use too many, and Yeah,
Look at the 1-2 exacta box, David. It's $16. That's not bad. So even if you did a 1-2-9 exacta box, cost you $6 for $1, you're still making money because it looks like you're getting $16. 9-1 is $16. If it comes in 9-2, it's $30.
Right. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm feeling that. Hold on a second. I'll put something in that.
Right. So it would make sense. It's interesting. Why 9-1 $16, but 9-2 is $30?
Well, the one's a lower price, but okay.
I think we think 6 is a sprinter. 10's GSR is dropping so low. I know it's the EquinEdge long shot. I can't go there. I thought the 8 horse at 23-1. That's a very interesting horse. I mean, you're getting a nice price there for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at you're talking about a horse it lost by 11 lengths last time, and I mean connections aren't that great or big. Why is the horse 5-1 on the E morning line? Just something to note.
Yeah.
But I still think a 1-2-9 is a smart bet.
Yeah, I'm not usually a big fan, as you know, Scotty, of boxing the 3 favorites in either triples or exactas. I'm looking for a little bit of a price there, but I don't. That seems quite like a logical play, and of course you'd be worried about the 6 getting in the exacta, but yeah, it's.
I don't know why I'm not worried about the 6. I mean, the 6 looks like a sprinter to me, but we'll see. It is taking action. Interesting that the 9 horses is the 1 horse is your favorite now. The jockey had to get off of the 2 horse going into the gate. The 2 seem fine, no doubt about it. But the jockey and the horse need to be in sync, and I wonder if that messes with the jockey a little bit when he's got to get off the horse to if he's in the back of his mind he's worried a little bit, and then that usually will make a horse break a little bit slow. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's any of these antics around the gate always concern me, but yeah. Not usually a great sign. But again, we've seen horses have trouble going to the gate. Jock gets off, comes back on, goes to the lead, wins by 5. So depends on the horse, right? Some horses get stressed out at these things more.
Did not like the way the 10 horse was acting at all, the EquinEdge long shot. Let's see what happens in the break here. Advantage.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, the 2 broke slow. The 1 broke perfectly. The 9 broke very good as well. There goes that 8 we were talking about.
Yeah, the 8's right off to the lead at 22-1. 9 stalking.
The 9. Look, he's on the brakes on the 9. But I really like the position of the 1 horse right now. I'm happy with my position for sure.
I'm surprised that he didn't gun from the rail and get the lead. We'll see what the pace is. 24-3. It's not so fast.
So Real Savvy, the 9 horse, is outside of the 8 horse right now at 22-1. The 8 horse is only 1%. Shake it off for the bird. But was 5-1 on the E morning line. The 1 horse at 3-1, lukewarm favorite, is just sitting in third, about a length and a half off of the 2 front runners. They went 50 seconds flat.
Yeah, slow. And the 2 was shuffled back to last, so he's
it not only broke slow, but then shuffled back. We talked about that early on. That's not usually a good sign. This is looking more. Look at the 1. The 1 is seems to be
perfect trip.
Setting a perfect trip, but the 9 has horse. It looks like the 9's got the measure of the 8 to me. Nobody's coming. Absolutely nobody. The 2's finishing, but going to have to go 7-8.
Yeah, he's so wide, and he may get up for third.
I mean, this has got 1 and 9 written all over it.
Oh, absolutely. There you go. Real Savvy. Looking good. Here comes the 1.
Oh, Run's got the measure.
Not necessarily. Oh. Okay, yeah, just got by.
What a race. That was sorry, Epicenter. Nice effort there by the
Great
9.
effort.
Yeah. But the 1 just was drafting right behind the 8 and the 9. I didn't see who got up for third, but 1-9 clearly in 1:43 and 1.
It certainly wasn't the 2.
No.
2 got a bad. You get off slow, and then they got shuffled back. I got to watch that replay. So off to a little bit of a slow start here. So for me.
Let's see who got third. Did the 8 hang on for third? Nobody was really coming. Like if you had the 1, you were loving your position right there. And the 9, obviously the 9 that they wanted turf for that horse. I don't think it was the turf. Just so you know, I really think they're going to run the horse back on turf, obviously. But
The 6 got up.
it was the horse's first start, you know.
Yeah.
And
198.
The 8 did hang on for third.
198.6. Yeah.
22 to 1. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Listen, the only way I got that horse was the 5 to 1 on the EE morning line. Now, the job of the morning line is to predict what the horse will go off at.
Right.
So the fact that the EE morning line, that's I think the best morning line in horse racing, is predicting this horse will go off at 5 to 1. Why? You know what I mean? Like, you got to ask yourself why. Now, what could cause that? Well, a big time jockey, Irad Ortiz. Ferrara is a good enough trainer at 17%, but Koa is 9%. So why the heck? So it must have something to do with the horse, and it's just another tool. And so look, if you keyed that horse in the third spot, then you just made out. And by the way, that exacta 1-9 paid $15 for $1.
That's good. That is excellent. 2, 3, 1 shots.
Right. So nice payout there. All right. We should go to Saratoga race number 12. What do you think?
Saratoga race number 12. Okay, so we've got a maiden special weight on a mile on the inner turf at the mile. Another interesting race. Gonna run the simulator.
So 6 is clearly the fastest horse in the race. It's the EquinEdge long shot, Kid Creasa. It does have a low SOR usually, but the thing is that it's got to look at the win percentages. I mean, sometimes I like to see it because I can get some prices. Nice going, Al. Oh, by the way, thank you for your email. I got your email this morning. Thank you for that. That was very kind of you. So the 7 horse hard par wins this race. Here's the thing. It's a tough race when you see the win percentages, but then when you see the 6 horse almost win the race on the simulator, and you look over here at the SORs, and it's the lowest SOR, so it means it's been facing weaker competition, and so you just know that the race is wide open. Clearly, the horse is the type of horse that needs a lead. So now I take a horse like the 2, and this horse seems to now its style has been to be near the lead, but it also has only raced 3 times. They're trying turf for the first time. Mark Cassie, do you think this is a desperate move only because in the very first race, this horse ran good? But this horse is probably a sprinter. That was a 69 GSR. This is 20 points lower. Let's look and see. Yeah, see? It's just all sprint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 2 I don't want any part of. 6 furlongs on the turf, first time out. Closed up for off slow, steadied, and closed for third. Pretty good performance. Second time blinkers out. Goes back to the dirt with an intended dirt race and showed a little speed and packed it in at 6. Stretches out to a mile on August 15th in a race schedule for the turf. Was scratched down to a 7 horse field. At 2 to 1, this horse showed some speed and just totally packed it in. Yeah. To me, this horse is more of a sprinter, I would think. So Irad jumps aboard. I don't want the price. So I'm looking somewhere else.
I agree. So I'm just going to eliminate him. All right. All right. So talk to us about what you like.
Yeah. And again, I think I've brought this up in the past that the first thing I look at on EquinEdge is the pace. So that I'll look at who's got the highest pace. And anytime there's a disparity between the first and second of around 20, 25, that's a play enough alone for me, alone speed.
Yeah.
However, then I look at the horse, and this Kid Creasa, and the last time out, this horse had the lead and just really hung on for a long, long time and almost won at 31 to 1. But I think it was a case that Ruiz put a lot of these jocks to sleep. It's like no one else went for the lead. And if you look at this horse, every race in the last 16th of a mile, this horse is losing ground pretty rapidly. And the last race was by far its best race, getting in that lone speed. This horse could wire the field, but I don't trust this horse at all with Ruiz on it. The horses that I want, I'll go to my top pick, and I know this is a little bit of a reach, but that's why they call it gambling. We've got, if you look at the 4 Reno, who I bet last time out, and
who I eliminated.
Who you eliminated. All right, let's talk about Reno a little bit.
All right.
This horse has got an acceptable turf breeding in my eyes. He was in the race with New York Scrappy in that 6 furlong race. He was 11.5 to 1 in a 9-horse field. And just basically chased the pace and kind of tired. After that race, this horse was gelded. So there's an angle the first time, gelding. And talk about James Bond's barn. Normally he has better Saratogas. He's got a barn right down the road there that he walks his horse to. And, they point for this meet. He has some good turf runners. One of them's going over the weekend. Russi will probably win. 1 for 23 with 3 seconds is not what they were looking for, I'm sure. This horse, I think, has a little bit of ability. And this horse must have been a bad actor, the gelded. And when they usually do the gelding, the bonds, usually you get an improved race next time out. Yeah. So I'm taking a little bit of a shot with a 15 to 1 morning called Reno. Okay, and the other horse I definitely want is the 1, Ray Handel's horse. Ray's on fire. He's 7 wins at the meet, 26%. 2 sprint races with Dylan Davis. The first one, this horse was off slow, came flying, solid second. Then its next start was bet down to 3 to 1 and chased, but didn't really fire. I'm thinking this horse is more than ready. With that rail position, he's going to show more speeds. And I like the rail a little better going the mile on the inner than the 6 furlongs at Aqueduct. So I'm going to go with 4 over the 1. So 2 tickets. It's almost a flip of the coin between the 4 and the 1. The 1 on the stretch out, the 4 first time gelding with, to me, that a horse has got some ability possibly. So it's going to be 4-1, 1-4 for me. And I'll make that decision at 5:42 p.m. who I'm putting on top. It's a late qualifier today.
Hard par.
Who do you like? How do you see the race?
Well, I thought about this horse here a little bit. Hard par.
That's Ray Handel's other horse. Yeah.
Yeah, but it has burned a lot of money. But this race is not all that it's like it's really even. What about Sebastian in the first? I mean, this horse looks like it's a bit tactical. It does pretty, this horse has been pretty consistent. Look at big fields. It got second against 9 other horses last time out. Look at it faced a pretty tough group here, 2 back against Open Company. And had a 44 GSR going 5 furlongs on the turf. So now it's got a bigger GSR. I think this horse is a trier. Maybe it's starting to figure things out for Delgado. I don't know. I think this horse, it's the EquinEdge second pick. I don't think there's anything wrong with this particular horse, and I like the fact that it's tactical. I can envision the trip that the horse might get sitting behind the 6 horse. You can see here. And so it could get a nice trip. And then there's the 7, Hard Par, who just finishes. In a race like this, I know the 7's burn a lot of money, but in races like this, when you see these horses like the 7 that finish, it just seems to be it's races like this where they really close. It's been about 60% horses on the inner turf that you need to be near the lead, and then the other 40% close. I do think that Katie Davis is aboard. I'm always rooting for Katie. I think she's trying today. She has 4 mounts and trying to get her 300th win. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, always rooting for Katie. Is this going to be the horse? I mean, it could be, I guess, and she's ridden this horse every time. Ray Handel, just good guy.
Yeah, I think the horse. Yeah, this is a wide open race. Hard Par would have been my third choice. This horse does seem to find trouble, though. If you notice, altered over heels last time out, stumbled start, 2 back, stumbled break last year on a sloppy track. So mild bump before that. So these horses who find trouble all the time, probably a difficult horse to ride. And in these turf races, it's sometimes the trip obviously it dictates if you're going to win the race. A little different than the dirt. But I think with the 2 handles in it, I'm going to go. My preferred horse of the 2 would be the 1, because I think the 1 with only the 2 starts may have more upside than the Katie's horse, Hard Par. So, and hasn't proven yet that only got off slow once. So maybe that horse won't get off slow again. So yeah, I prefer the 2 Ray handle horses. Scotty, I think I prefer the 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm struggling between the 7 and the 9. I think the 9 could run a good race, and I think it's going to be up to Saez just to give this horse a good trip. I like the tactical speed. I'm going to go with the 9.
Okay, so Scotty's on the 9, and the 9 is Sebastian the first. Yeah, definitely a contender. Nice second last time out. Stalking the pace at a mile.
All right, so all the races are at Saratoga and Del So now we're going to go to Del race number 1.
Del
We're going to
Mar,
go. We got race number 1, and then we skip to race 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So
and the rest of the card, yeah.
Yep, the rest of the card. Let's see here.
Scotty, I'll be back in about a half minute.
Got it. There is a race coming up over at Gulfstream Park that we can actually watch. Why not? Race number 2, they're going into the gate, and a bunch of first-time starters. I love that. And I would like a horse like the 4, the top EquinEdge pick. But I also like when you're, and it's the top pace number 2. So maybe the 4 to go gate to wire. And you're getting a price as well. So let's take a break and watch this race. What's up, Dave?
Watching Gulfstream race 2.
Yeah, we're gonna all first-time starters. Let's see the 4 horse, the top pick. It's the top pace number. I love our pace number with first-time starters. Usually, those horses, if it's the top pace number, they do well. And so we'll see what happens in this field. Tough. Listen, I love it. Before EquinEdge, I couldn't play maiden races very. You didn't know. All you saw was a bunch of workouts, and I think that's the one area there that's been a game changer for horse racing is being able to give metrics and pace and win percentages to first-time starters. When I first did it, David, everyone was criticizing, going, "You can't give numbers to first-time starters that have never run before." But that just goes to show you how amazing AI is.
Yeah. Yes. Modern technology, AI is changing our lives. And I'll tell you that it's a lot different than it was. Oh, that didn't sound good.
That didn't sound good.
That's my AC compressor.
So look, the 4 horse was fast. That's what the pace number said.
Yeah.
I mean, to predict a first-time starter was going to be on the lead, top pick, all that. And the 4 didn't break all that great. Hopefully that won't cost the 4 late. Let's see if we can get this horse gate to wire. Jockey's elbows are still inside. 5's being asked, and 3's being asked. There's nobody else coming.
Nobody's close.
Confident handling from Edgar Zayas. In other words, has the lead. Off cover, here's Madame Michole pushing hard for Ferrer. In between horses, Smile Po back from 4th.
One's got the measure, I think. 5. Dave was saying the 5 horse got good works as well.
Center, Madame Michole, Miguel Vasquez, and Smile Po rouse forward for the lead.
Not changing leads at all.
Brazil stable. In front and going away, Smile Poe, Dave Fox.
Smile Poe.
What's up,
Dave Fox?
Back to third, Madame
Hey, Dave. How's it going, buddy? Hey, Chuck.
All right. 5-horse wins the race. That horse was 19%. And let's look at the workouts. Dave was saying good workouts. 33 of 109, 3-star here. You have to really know what you're looking at. Here on the synthetic, that was a nice work, 4 of 20. And jockey trainer combination, Miguel, 19%. So for David Fox, it was really a wide open race. The 3-horse ran huge. I'll tell you what, Michael Yates, you got to watch him with first-time starters. He comes up and he'll have some prices for you as well.
Yeah, I was surprised. This past winter, I saw it. To me, I always thought he was a low percentage trainer, right? That usually these guys don't win first time out. But I think this winter he beat me with like a 12-1 first time starter.
Boss Tweed. Which race on Sunday, Chuck, is Boss Tweed running?
Is that the Spinaway? Spinaway? Because the Hopeful is on Monday.
Remember we bet that horse when it was the 6-horse. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And,
wire to wire.
It went wire to wire.
That's Gary Contessa's horse, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yep.
Saratoga race number 3 is coming up in 8 minutes from now.
Yeah, we got some time.
And we need to get to Del Mar race number 1, correct?
Right. All right. So I'm off to a little bit of a slow start with my picks in the feeder. So I'm going to do a Matt Miller. I got my lunch, a little popcorn here. So maybe eating a little popcorn during the race will change my fortune.
All right. Real quickly for Chuck, let's go look. It's on Sunday, right? So today's the 30th. So 9-1.
Well, turf. Okay.
Saratoga race number 10 on the turf. 5.5 furlongs. All right, let's run the race. Boss Tweed is the 3-horse. It is the top pace, which is huge. The GSR does drop 15 points. So clearly Contessa is not using using EquinEdge. Wink, wink. Let's see here, though. Hold on, let me get rid of that. Yeah, I mean, so it looks like there's, you're gonna see some speed out of the 2 on the inside, the 5 and the 9, and no, Boss Tweed is. I'm sorry, Boss Tweed is. It's the speed. Hold on, there's too many horses here.
Rusi's probably got speed, man.
All right, let's go.
That's the Bond horse.
So no, okay. So Boss is the fastest horse,
and Rusi should be stalking, right? Let me pull it down.
Run, Curtis, run. Honestly, this horse doesn't look all that great. So to me, I don't see why you couldn't hold on gate to wire. I will just say this: the only thing I would say is the GSR is dropping 15 points, the win percentage is dropping 16 points, and you're facing 8 points higher in SOR. The best asset this horse has definitely is the 3-horse. And we're rooting for you. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, good luck on Sunday. Yeah, we're supposed to get some rain there, but it's supposed to also in Western New York here too. It's supposed to be really spotty. So I don't think we're supposed to. Not a lot of rain is forecast, so we'll see how that goes.
I mean, if they took this race off the turf, then you're.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be amazing. $100,000 purse. That's what you're praying for.
Yeah, I mentioned that before. If we're going to claim horses, claim dirt horses, and put them on the AEs on the turf on these sprint races.
All right, Del Mar race number 1. Let's get out to Del Mar race number 1. Speed, I know. Wait, Del Mar. Oh, that's Sunday. Hold on here.
Del Mar race number 1.
Del Mar race number 1. Yeah, if it comes off, for sure. So 2 horses that are dropping big time in GSR are the speed of the race. But I see those horses stopping. But I'm sure you have a strong opinion.
Yeah, and again, I'm not going to go in with the mindset this week was like, oh, I don't do well at Delmar. I'm going to be a little more positive. I never did well at at Kentucky Downs until yesterday, so there's always a new beginning. So if I have an opinion, I will fire away. But all right, so I looked at this race. We got a turf race, allowance 50,000, starter allowance, and I'm looking at the notes that I have here. Is I know there's some speed, right? And let me just pull up my EquinEdge. I didn't have that up here. I'm switching all around. Okay, so the pace, and again, when I see this pace factor and the disparity of around 20 points, I'm always thinking, okay, that's a possible angle to play this one horse. But then I look closer at the horse's PPs, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. This horse was off a long layoff and didn't really lift a hoof. And the trouble line was pinballed early, which is never a good sign. This horse had dropped into an optional $20,000 claimer. It was 55-1. Puts now blinkers on, second start off a layoff. Could this horse improve? I don't know. I don't want, again, this horse is a price and it looked like lone speed, but I'm going to pass on this horse. So I'm looking for somebody who's going to stalk because I am not really a big fan of this horse. So then it would lead me to the next 2 or 3. So it's 3, 4, 6. And after going through the numbers here, I think I settled on the 3 horse Nancy Griffith. This horse is first time turf. I know the breeding is not the greatest, and the GSR, let me just pull up the GSR again. This horse had the lowest GSR. Yeah, he's got a 41 GSR. So everything on paper there, on my tools, analytical tools are showing me, no, it's a no-go. But it's a small field, and I can knock holes in almost every horse in this race.
Yeah.
I don't want the 1. And then, I mean, if you see that the 3 of the 4 are going to get a perfect trip stalking a 1, which is my belief, that I'll take a shot. And I'm the type of guy, this filly hasn't proven she can't run on the turf. You're getting a 5-1 morning line price. So I'm going with it. This horse is won at a mile on the dirt, right back at Santa Anita, maiden 20, maybe a little cheap. But this horse can handle the distance on the dirt. Why couldn't this horse handle a mile on the turf? So I'm going to use Nancy Griffith as my top pick. And to me, the other logical horse is the 2, Cameron Slough. That this horse did lose to Maria's Tina twice, but I just think off that second last time out, that this horse is eligible to even move up possibly a little more. And I don't want Dory Miller at 1 for 16. And Maria's Tina is 1 for 10. So give me the 1 for 7s. I'll take that, my percentage chances. So I'm using the 3, Nancy Griffith, over the 2, Cameron Slough.
So the way I'm looking at this is the last time this horse was 22%, it won by 5 1/4 lengths. Now it was a 44 SOR group, but the last 3 races, it was not meant 1%, 11%, 10%. Same 66 GSR. This horse seems to be a mile specialist. Like, all 7 races have been at a mile on the turf. Very interesting. And Freysu jumps aboard again. But even though the SOR shows the same, to me, this is a much easier group because so many of these horses that have the same class are going to turf and they don't have the turf breeding.
Right.
So for me, it just puts the 2 horse in the winner's circle. For me, the 2 is a single. It's I think it's going to have to hold off the 4 horse Dory Miller, but Dory Miller just keeps getting minor awards, and it's also going from sprinting to 8 furlongs. It looks like more of a sprint for me. The GSR drops a little bit. It's 26%. It was 23% here, 24% here. It just keeps picking up checks. It's got 1 win in 16 races. This horse is not a proven loser. And I think this is I think Freysu is going to be in the winner's circle with this horse fairly easily.
Okay. So it's 2 for Scotty, 3 for me. 2's my backup pick. So, all right.
All right. So let's get out to Saratoga. We got 3
3
minutes before race 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, if we look at race 1, neither one of us got in the money there. We liked the 8. That was both of our second picks. I went to the 7, who had a horrendous trip. And you ended up going to the 5 horse, who didn't have the best trip, but didn't run on.
Yeah, I thought, in all honesty, the horse, Scotty, didn't have the greatest trip, but I expected the horse to run a little better than that.
Yeah, and the 8 horse with the Bullet Works ended up running huge. So
love those 2 last works.
Yeah, for Pletcher. In race number 2, I had the 1 horse, you had the 2 horse. 2 horse broke slow and didn't really run on. The 9 horse, who Epicenter owns part of with the My Horse Player Group, this horse really improved second time out. The race originally was taken off the turf. Although the GSR went down, this horse ran a huge race and barely lost to my horse, the 1 horse, Cynthian. So I got some points there, ended up getting $12.20. Now we're in race number 3. And David, you are, let's see, hold on here. My screen just froze.
It was, I will tell you this. It was a coin flip, basically, Scotty, between the 1 and the 6. I went with the 1 because it's the higher price, drawing the rail off the claim. But I just watched the horses come out in the track. And I don't claim to be the best analyst as far as horse flesh are concerned, but when I'm at the track, I will go to the paddock and look how the horses, if they're sweaty or washed out, or if they're acting up. But I have to tell you, from what I saw on the track, the 6 horse just looks brilliant to me coming on the track. So keep that in mind.
1 second here. I'm having Saratoga race number 3. I'm having a few issues here with this. All right, so you got the 1 horse,
1 over the 6
moves, and I've got the 3 horse Neutral Network. Who's your favorite?
And I hate the 3. So we'll see how it goes. But like I said, the 6 just looks really good on the track.
All right, let's see here.
In my humble opinion. I don't pretend to be a Bruno.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Let me get to Saratoga. There's 1 minute before the race. But
again, so if you're looking at this race, the 6 horse field, if we're hypothetically at the NHC and I like the 1 or the 6 and I'm heading up to the window now with my card or to the booth, and I'm like to the ATM, it's like, all right, who am I going with, Scotty? In the NHC, I'm going with the 1, the longer price. And then I wager a 6 over the 1 exacta to back it up, because I always want the longer price in these contests.
So let me look at these horses and tell you what my thought is. 3 looks just okay. 1 horse looks very good. 2 looks a little bit on its toes. 5 horse is kind of swishing its tail. I never like to see that. Heads up a little bit, swishing its tail. 6 horse looks okay, looks fine. And I didn't get a look at the 4 horse. But 3-2 right now on the 3 horse. So you despise this 3. You thought this 3 has no chance whatsoever.
No shot.
Oh man!
Won't even hit the board. At 7-5.
All right, I'm going to prove you wrong here. You have the 1 horse who's 5-1 right now. Boss making boss moves, and I'm on the 3 horse Neutral Network, who, by the way, has the top GSR by 7 points, 6 points. Yeah, 7. So 33% win, even money on the morning line. We talked about Mighty Atlas a little bit. This is an interesting one because this horse I watched. I wasn't impressed with its last effort, but it was so far back, all out from the very beginning, and it had a ton of mud. And this 4 horse is going to get a better trip. Has 29% win. I think if the 3 doesn't run good, probably the 4 horse, who figures to be closer to a slow pace. Watch how slow this pace is. I'm going to guess they're going to go so slow. I've never seen a 38 be the top pace number.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck, everybody. 6 goes for the lead. Oop, now he's being pressed by 2 others.
Remember we talked about, like, if you would have seen the 4 horses last race, the fact that this horse is on the lead is just unbelievable. Just incredible. Remember I told you whichever horse gets the lead is going to win the race.
Yes, and that would be Mighty Atlas at 7-2.
Yep.
6 is Stalking. I thought they'd even be going slower.
Neutral Network, the 3 horse, ended up getting bet to 7-5. Right now, Mighty Atlas 7-2 is on the lead, but Cut the Cord, who is your second choice, is just sitting right off the 4. And look at it; they're almost for a sprint home right now already, because look at that. They actually went much faster than I thought they would go. 48-3 is not bad for these horses,
no.
Right? But you're in last place, forever gone, like history. That the 1 horse has got no chance.
All right.
Yeah.
The 6 is Stalking. My other pick who looks great on the track. The 3's making a good move, saving the ground. The 3's sitting a good trip, but I don't think he's good enough. Here comes the 1, Scotty.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to come from that far back. Looked out of it. The jockey's been doing a good job just prodding on that horse. But again, like I said, which horse is going to get the lead? That's the horse that's going to win.
Yep.
Your 6 is there, right there, though. Those 2 horses. Here comes the 3. He's got him.
So Neural Network, cut the cord. Neural Network will come for the wire together. Cut the cord, tough as nails. Here is the line. Cut the cord.
Yeah, I told you, Neural Network's not going by anybody anytime soon.
Listen, I was so wrong in that race. It's not even funny. I mean, my horse ran good. But I'm like, okay, whoever gets the lead, okay, no, scratch that. All right, the 6. Okay, here comes the 3 out. 3's got him. Oh, nope, 6 holds him off. All right, well.
Yeah. All right, well, my 6, who I said looked great on the track, barely held off your horse, but a win is a win, my friend. And now, again, this is the second time that this was my secondary pick at 5-2, and happens to score. Usually in the feeders, I'm not going to use 2 tickets. You know, I'll buy the $75 qualifier fee. So I got seconditis, so I should have flipped my picks.
Yeah.
But you know what would have happened? I would have flipped my picks. I didn't want to come out the other way. But the 1 didn't run. The 1 was no speed at all. I disappointed in that horse.
Yeah, it was it's a very tough race when you have to what's up, Flatter? It's very tough when there's no speed in the race. It's a jockey's race and you don't know what they're going to do. I like being able to count on what the pace is going to be.
Right.
You know, and yeah, you're right, Chuck. The speed is very
mile and 1/8, 2 turns. Yep, that's always advantage to be on or near the lead. You saw the 6 stalk, and the 3 always had a stalking trip, a couple of lengths off the pace. The only horse that kind of didn't, packed it in was the 4. I thought that horse. My question with the 4 going into the race was the distance issue. So
yeah,
he doesn't want to go that far.
So evidently, Oldie has a nickname. Did you see that? A Timonium racer, Queen of the Dance. That was Oldie's nickname at college. Queen of the Dance, Timonium. Let's see here. Hold on here.
Hold on a second. That was Oldie's nickname at college. I'm not going to go any further. That's all I need to know. I am not going to comment.
It's a big.
I don't even know what to say.
Thanks,
Dan.
It's a big long shot. We actually it's amazing that we have the ability to show this race. Let's see here. Timonium. All right, so we'll just real quickly, we'll just show this. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Kendrick.
Oh, yeah.
So
My
I didn't
condolences.
know that.
Yeah. Hopefully he wins a couple for his dad.
Yeah, I hope
And
so.
by the way, I know this is a horse racing program, but I've got to say it. Rest in peace, Johnny Gaudreau of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Awful, awful story that he passed over the last couple of days in an accident. So I'm a huge hockey guy, and he's 31 years old. Sorry to see.
Oh, that is brutal. That's much too young.
Yeah. Nice way to set off my morning. It's like,
yeah. So we'll just watch this in honor of Oldie. Let's see what the 3-horse can do. It's only 1% chance of winning. And they're at the gate.
they're at the gate, so don't be late.
Sandra D. And they're off. Angel of Canterbury gets the first call. Sandra D stoking up early foot as well. And Go Sherry Go is right there settling into third position. The speed will be Sandra D. Sandra D, Angel of Canterbury take it back a bit in second. And Go Sherry Go, Red Silks outside in third position as they round the first turn. 3. As they round that turn, Queen of the Dance is now moving along in fourth. Only 5 off the pace. Pistol Liz ablazing. And Viennese Waltz is last of the 6. They race down the stretch for the first time. Sandra D leaves away. Angel of Canterbury on the outside, trying to right and save something from second. Go Sherry Go, Pistol Liz ablazing, head and head for third. And back to Queen of the Dance, and Viennese Waltz is trailing the field. Racing on to turn 2 now, and it's Sandra D leading the way, getting mild pressure from Angel of Canterbury on the outside. Go Sherry Go, Pistol Liz ablazing. Fourth while riding that rail around the second turn run. Queen of the Dance and Viennese Waltz has to pick it up from the back. Sandra D sneaks away from Angel of Canterbury and opens up 3.5 furlongs out. Then it's Pistol Liz ablazing on the inside, just third, and Go Sherry Go is next. And followed by Queen of the Dance and Viennese Waltz. Plenty to do.
6-horse Sandra
Heading on
D.
the far turn run, above a quarter of a mile left to go. And it's Sandra D shaking free from Angel of Canterbury. And Pistol Liz ablazing fully ridden in third. No fire from Go
Yeah,
Sherry
you're not
Go.
catching this horse.
Viennese Waltz
No,
only
this horse
passing a tired Queen of
gone.
the Dance. They pass the Ferris Allen wheel and they turn for home. Sandra D
And
full of run
Oldie's
by
gonna
6
finish
from
in
Angel of
last.
Canterbury, and Pistol Liz ablazing. And it is Sandra D pouring it on. Sandra D, nothing left to do for pose for the picture. And track photographer Jimmy McHugh, tie slide, Pastina, Sandra D. Sandra D by 7 in the line.
6-4,
Angel
very
of
close for
Canterbury,
Burke.
Pistol Liz
between the 1 and
ablazing,
the 2.
late run. Viennese.
All right, Oldie. All right, David. We've got Del Mar race number 3 to cover now.
Okay, Del Mar race number 3. All right, let me just pull it up on my screen here. So we skip the second, and then we do the rest of the card at Del Mar. Makes it easy. Okay.
Let's do this. All right, I'll be back in about 2 minutes, okay? Can you cover
Okay.
me?
Sure. Okay, so we're watching the race simulator, and it looks like we got the 1 with the lead over the 4, 5. How about Pavel? We got a contested pace. All right, so we got 1, 2, and then we got another horse on the outside. That's the 9, Grazing Gator. So we got the 9 on the outside. Looks like he's winning the race, stalking the pace. So we got a 9, 9-1-3 finish. All right, so the way I approach this race, to me, this is a total head scratcher. I could go in a number of directions here. And again, we're dealing with a maiden special weight, California breds or California sired. It's 2-year-olds. And again, a lot of these horses do have some breeding. These 2-year-olds can make just a dramatic improvement from race to race. So it's looking at a race like this. I'm looking for a pretty decent price. I'm not looking for one of the favorites because I think some of these horses can improve from their prior races. And when I did mention, in my notes I have here is a total head scratcher. And if I had any remaining hair, I'd probably pull it out by the time I handicap this race. So with that being said, I'm going to just go right to the horse that I settled on. And that is a 15-1 morning line. How about Pavel? Now, I know this horse is a Pavel. I mean, the turf breeding's average at best, but they're trying this horse again on the turf. 2 races, maiden special weight against Calabreds. Ran 4th. Saw against Bodacious, who I think came back and won another race or ran well. I have to check that out. But the angle is the trip notes are just floated out, angled and turned. It's a beginning race. The first start, I'm not even worried about. The 4th place finish, 14 lengths behind. But the second race is not as good at all. This horse had the 7 posts and was bet down 8-1 and just chased and kind of tired, didn't really show much. But this then moved to the turf at another 5 furlong sprint, showed a little speed and just didn't seem to run too well. But now this horse does stretch out. This horse should be stalking or somewhere close to the lead, I think. And I just think in a wide open race, and again, that last race at 5 furlongs was a 5 furlong maiden special weight for open company. So now this horse goes back against Calabreds, and I'm willing to take a shot on this horse. I mean, the last couple of works have been steady, nothing fantastic, but in a wide open race, I think that I can go with this and give a shot with a price horse. So I settled down to 5. I know it's a little bit of a stretch, but I'm looking for some prices here. And then that's my second pick. It's really a crapshoot. I probably used the 9 based on that second at 5 furlongs, and basically with a trouble line, step slow, a little traffic problem. So, but still managed to get up to finish second and beat Orange Thunder, who's in this race as the 2 horse. So it's going to be 5. How about Pavel for Doug O'Neill over the 9 Grazing Gator? 5-9 for me, Scotty.
All righty, 5-9.
We're price shopping again.
Yeah, we need to, a lot of times what I like to do when price shopping is I'll sort the odds makers morning line, and then I'll look to see, okay, what do I see? First thing I see is the 5 horse at 6-1 EE morning line. And when you have a competitive race like this, meaning there's really no big win percentages, a horse like this, you'll actually get probably closer to 15-1. So you've got value there. And the GSR, look at the surge indicator. The GSR is going from 56 back up to 67. So I don't think the issue was turf with this horse. I think the issue is this horse wants longer. Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. And with that 62 pace metric, got enough speed to stalk the pace. So I think that this horse is looking to stretch out. And the bottom line is anytime I see the morning line 15-1 and the EE morning line being much lower, that it gives me a little more confidence in my angle there. So I know it's only 4% win, but this is a wide open race.
What about the 3 horse? I mean, it's a second time starter here going on the turf. And I mean, it looks like this horse can go dirt or turf. And also Garcia is 6% with first time starters, but with second time starters, well, even worse at 4%. But Bruno gives this horse a 4-star work here, August 4th. Caught the eye with good speed for a Calbred. This is a state bred race. And let's see what happened in this race. Step slow, 5 wide into the stretch. The horse, I know it broke 8th for sure. But if you look, one of the things I was taught at a very young age when I came into horse racing was when you are looking for a horse to kind of know whether it wants long or not, obviously you can use the GSR. But before we had the GSR, you see the running lines for this horse. Look, it's kind of like even, like 5 lengths back, 7, 8, 5. It's like they're kind of even, right? That's usually the sign of a horse that's more one pace that wants longer. I would imagine that this horse, think about it. It was a 3% win last time out. with a 65 GSR and a 54 SOR, meaning its competition was much tougher. Now it drops 6 points in competition, which is huge, way easier. It goes from 3% win to 26% win, and it goes up 7 points in GSR. It's got a 4-star work from Bruno, 2 3-star works. It's an absolute no-brainer. I don't even need to look at another horse. For me, it's the 3-horse.
Yeah, like I said, while you were taking a little bit of a break there, I was trying to just convey what difficulty I had with this race. So with that being said, I'm going to look for a price. I have to tell you, I looked at this horse for a long time. I looked at Chili Philly, and I think that horse got a shot. But yeah, no, this horse has got a shot. And so at 12-1 morning, and Hector Barrios picks up the mount, 22%. I mean, he's going well. Yeah, he's definitely eligible to be a real big contender. But the one thing I did forget to mention, the 5, How About Pavel? I looked up the Dam, How About Zero? The Dam had won on the turf before, so that kind of swayed me over to use that horse rather than the 3. But you could use anybody here, in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks like the Dam is won, 161,000 on dirt and 188,000 on turf, and with How About Pavel? And I think we see that kind of in the tabs, right? It looks like the horse can do it either thing. You can do dirt or turf. Right. So I just think it wants longer. I like the 5. I mean, first of all, you're getting Hernandez that's jumping aboard. Yeah. Did Gutierrez go somewhere else? Let's see here. Nope, just getting replaced.
Well, he's on the AE. He was on the AE, Mirazi's Whole Dream. Both for Redham. So one Redham horse goes to right. So then the 12 didn't draw in, did he?
No.
No, good. Okay. Can't begin to tell you, Scotty, how many times I pre-handicap a race and I'm doing something. And I'm like, oh, the 12 is also eligible. And then I come back and watch the race, and I'm like, geez, that 12 paid 12-1. He got kind of lost on the board because it was the outside post. Same stable that I played, the horse that I played. I'm like,
right.
Okay, didn't get in. Okay, good.
So what about this 2-horse Orange Thunder? I mean, it's 6-1 on the E morning line. It's 18%. But this horse wants longer. It sprinted first time out. Craig Lewis is 4% with first-time starters. With second-time starters, 20%. This horse is an absolute player in this race. Goes up in win percentage, facing a little bit easier, and the GSR goes up. When you look at the GSR Plus tab, well, first of all, you can see the tab. It's a 73 compared to a 64 on dirt. And, I mean, this is a really well-bred Calbred. So I would imagine Orange Thunder is gonna run a good race today.
Oh yeah, big contender, major contender. It was in the same race with Grazing Gator. This horse was 5.5-1. Grazing Gator was 3.5-1. So they're not separated by much, and they weren't separated by much in the wagering or in the finish of the race. So yeah, I mean, you could use the 1, you could use the 2, I could use it. I mean, you could go so deep here. It's just, and I thought the 7 had a shot, first time turf. The Echo Town got possibly improved because the 7's first race at Osal. This horse did make up ground, but I'm thinking this 7 horse may be more of a sprinter than wanting to stretch out. But I mean, if the 7 horse won and paid $25, it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, it shows longer, but it also shows that the dirt tab is 10 points higher than the turf tab. So for me, it's only 2.5 lengths back on the simulator, so anything can happen. But I think there's a lot of horses that are in front of it that can improve. So for me, I would not like the 7 as much as some of the others in here. The 9 horse, I know you made this your second pick. It is 9-5 on the E morning line, and wow, I mean, but is it a sprinter? Look at it looks like 5.5 furlongs. This horse had numbers in the 83, right? And it's working out good. Raisin G has a race under tail, blah, blah, blah. Are we supposed to think this horse is, dropping 18 points? Are we supposed to bet this horse who was off slow, had traffic, and just killed it? But 8 furlongs is a different race than 5 furlongs on the turf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2-year-olds, we're not sure until they actually run the distance, right? We can go with the GSR, go with the breeding, but this horse, I just thought based on it got off slow in the opening race that better start here. This horse will be in a really good position.
Yeah.
Well, you can go a number of directions in this race.
I think the 9 could get overbet based on that first race. I want to see this horse sprinting. I think this horse actually has the potential to be a very, very nice sprinter, especially here. They're in California, the Cowbreds series that they have. I think that this horse has a lot of potential, but going longer, I mean, it's obviously it's facing Cowbreds here, and it can run. It's, on paper, the horse to beat, but sprinting and going longer are two different things. The win percentage really doesn't. It goes down. In fact, it goes from 32% to 19%. So these are tougher. And I think the only other one that we should talk about is this one horse here. Doug O'Neill has the one, and
the other O'Neill.
Yeah, the other O'Neill. I mean, it's okay. It's just okay to me. You?
Yeah, I was thinking that with the 2 O'Neills, this may be the horse that really wants to sprint. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we could go a number of different directions here. It wouldn't surprise me if the 1 won a race. Like I said, out of all the races that I looked at, all of these qualifier or feeder races, this is the one I had the most problems with. And again, unfortunately, this is pick and pray. So I'd like to see how they look, in the paddock, going onto the track to see if anybody's a little jumpy or washed out. So because these 2-year-olds, you can pick up a lot when you're watching a post parade. So, but again, it's pick and pray. So you got to take a guess here.
I think we could get some price on the 2. I'm gonna play the 3 horse on one ticket and 2 on the other. I actually like the 2 horse a lot in here, Orange Thunder. Craig Lewis, small trainer, but man, he's been doing it a long time, and he's super consistent, super good. And this horse was sprinting last time out, drew the rail. Not an easy thing to do for a first-time starter. Got third only by 4 3/4 lengths. The GSR goes up 9 points. Win percentage up. Like, everything is going the direction that you want to see it. So I'm gonna Kimura 1-1. On the turf a few days ago, I think, or it was last week, one of the two. I don't know. It was a top EquinEdge pick as well. The horse went off at 10-1. So I'm gonna go here.
Okay, just also, Scotty, this is the first leg of the pick 6, right? And I'm usually not a big fan of doing this because every time I've done this in the past, it usually burns my ass. This is a race I would wheel, right? If you have a couple singles coming down. But again, when I say it's burned me before, so then you'll have the 2 chalks, 1 and 2, and then you don't wheel the race. You use 4, 3. You try to get it down to 3 or 4, and then your 18-1 shot wins. And it's like,
yeah.
And then you have 5 out of 6, and it gets you $60 instead of $6,000. So this is a head scratcher.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wheel it. I think you could leave out fairly confidently. You could leave out the 6 horse very easily. You could leave out the 10, and you could leave out the 8. I think confidently.
I don't know about that, Scotty. I'm not confident. Maybe the 8 because of the $50,000.
Well, I mean, the 10 horse is 1% to win, and it's got a 47 GSR. The 6 horse is 2% to win, 20-1 EE morning line, and a 45 GSR. I mean, if you can't leave those horses out, I don't know what you can leave out.
I know, Scotty, but this horse, I know, hasn't lifted a hoof, showed a little speed last time out, but this horse is out of Oscar nominated, the Damned Public House. I mean, this horse has got, and I don't have a lot of confidence the way DeSormo's riding. He's not picking up a lot of mounts, but I guess. I mean, he was 10-1. He was 10-1 his last race.
Yeah, but you have to remember, like, when you're using horses like this, like these, when you do that, it will cost you later.
Oh yeah.
Now, sure. Let's just say you have 2 singles in the sequence in the pick 6. Okay, well, that's a different story. And you would just go, I have plenty of money in this to be able to cover an all. Great. But other than that, it's when you use horses like this, it's going to cost you later. There is nothing free. Nothing.
Okay, Scotty, I'll just tell you one thing. When the 10 horse runs first or second, I'm going to call you or text you at about what time is this? 8 o'clock tonight. In all seriousness, I am not.
If it comes in second, that doesn't count. We're talking about a pick six here, so you can't.
No, okay, that's right. That's true.
It has to win.
He's going to come in second, and then the winner is going to be DQ'd. Does that count?
Yes, that counts.
That's my prediction. Then you want to know how I won NHC? I'm actually psychic. I don't want to tell you.
Okay.
But in all seriousness, I am not going to get into a debate over a pick six with Scotty pick six. So that's not happening. I am not questioning anything about your pick six ability.
Well, no, what I'm saying is I recognize it's a horse race and anything can happen. I recognize that. But what I am saying, which is true as well, is that when you use horses like these, unless you really like the horse, you can't use them. Otherwise, like where's the line? Like when do you stop?
Right. So, and the thing is too, like I said, I'm not a big wheeler. I'll only do that if I really think I have a handle on some of the other races where I can narrow it down. And it's like, I don't even want to handicap the race because I don't have the time. I'll just use them all and then move on to the next race, because then it's taking time away from like a inscrutable race that I have no clue is going to win. So I spend an hour and a half handicapping the first leg. I'm not going to do it. So but so I will tell you with 100% surety and confidence, I will not be playing a pick six today at Delaware because of this first leg. But again, you can now see right before you put your pick six ticket in, you can see how the horses look. You can see if anybody's washing. You can see if anybody's jumping. So just a wide open race. But I will give you a buzz. I'll ping you when the 10 wins this race. Okay.
Okay. Or we just use our 4 horses. I mean, 2, 3, 5. You get 2 horses. I get 2 horses. How many races are we going to actually lose? Not very many of them. I'll tell you that. Right. And I told you this too in many of my big pick sixes, and these were tickets that even some that I spent big money on, I would leave horses out like the 9 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I'd rather leave a horse like the 9 out at 5-2 than a horse at 12 or 15-1 that I think is he's got a shot. Because look at it this way: when you want to play a pick six, you're looking for big numbers. You're not looking for chalky pick six that's going to pay you $1,500, right? It may be nice because you still can show a positive ROI, but on these bets, you want to hit for the, I'm looking when I play a pick six to hit at least 20 to 30,000, if not more.
Yes, absolutely. And you're going to have that opportunity at Santa Anita in the fall.
Good. Maybe we'll go in on a ticket or two.
Absolutely. This is where I'm going to have a lot of fun. $2 pick six is back over at Santa Anita. I couldn't be any more excited about it.
I heard you're so excited that you're moving back to the West Coast and getting a place.
Luckily, I can play online, so I don't need to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to be there. So
I hear you.
It's not like old days. It's not like old days. Remember when we had to go down over there, or we had to dial in our bets? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, yep. Or had to make sure you made it to the OTB in time in New York. Yep. Yep, never forget it. I've got such really good stories. I honestly should write a book one day on just some of the different scenarios of how I hit some of these pick sixes and some of the luck. So you need luck in everything in all life, of course, too. And luck is a really important factor. I mean, I was interviewed after the NHC win, and I basically, and I don't know if you would agree with me, I would say that it's about, you've got to have skill, so you've got to have a plan, and you've got to develop these. But the win place mythical is a little easier because you don't have many decisions to make. I'd say it's about 65-70% skill and about 35-40% luck. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, you need your horses to run. I mean,
but yes, and sometimes
70-30.
Yeah, I would say 70-30. But I think we create our own luck as well, and then. Really, placement when you're playing horizontals, placement of the way you do your tickets is everything. Like it really, really is. That's why I'm just saying, like, I don't want to teach people, especially some of the younger people, bad habits of just throwing the all button in there. That would be a mistake.
Yeah,
it really would. Mm-hmm. And I think that that needs to be understood, that you don't want to fall into that habit. When people click the all button, it's because they don't have an opinion. If you don't have an opinion,
That's
then don't pass it. Don't play.
Right. And it leads me to a quick story. I don't know if I told this before, but I used to go to the Saratoga all the time with a buddy of mine years ago when I lived there. And then his comment used to be like, how do you hit a pick 6 ticket for 3 or 4 grand? I'm sorry, a pick 3 or a pick 4. We're playing pick 4s mostly. How'd you hit it for 3 or 4 grand? Every time I hit it, it's like $300 or $400. I'm like, all right, Rich, look at your ticket structure. You're playing in every race, the first or second choice. Your max is going to be $300 or $400. I'm throwing in 12, 15, 20 to 1 shots, and along with singling other horses along the way. And I'm putting myself in a position to make a bigger score. I think it's just too many variables when you're looking to, get too chalky on a pick 4, right? Too many things can go wrong. You might as well look for a bigger payout. If you need things to go wrong for your bigger payout, and that's what I'm looking for, some kind of chaos in some of these races.
Do you know when I would pass on pick 6s on playing? Would be when I would look at a card and know that there's a couple of favorites or 2 or 3 favorites in races that looked unbeatable, and that everybody would be singling the same horse.
Mm-hmm.
Those were races that or sequences and pick 6s that I would pass on. I'm like, it's going to be chalky. And it was almost always the case. The ones that would do well? How many times back in the day you would see where you had 5 races where the second or third choice won, and it would be a carryover. And do you know why that is? Because people are keying in on some of the big favorites. And so if you beat the favorites, it plays way big. It plays more like a big long shot, because in pick 6s, you have to hit your singles. And so if you beat the single that everybody has, you beat one horse that's 4 to 5 on the morning line, and everybody's singling that horse. You just eliminated 90% of the people.
Yeah. I think it's important to take a stand, have some guts. And like I said, I've a number of times and wagers I've hit pick 5s or pick 6s. I'll single in the first leg an 8 to 1 shot. And it is what it is. I'll know what's happening afterwards. And then you're in such an advantage because you beat the 2 to 1, 3 to 1, or 5 to 2 shots. So you're looking at a nice payoff, from the get-go with a $20 horse in your first leg.
Yeah. By the way, say hello to Annette. Annette's just one of the good people.
Hello, Annette.
Been with us a long, long time. She's the best. So,
okay. Thanks.
Yeah. This is David Harrison. You might have heard of him, Annette. All right, David. Let's run this race. There's not a lot of horses in the race. Mandatory, obviously. The 3 switching to turf. You're back in race 3, Gary.
Did we finished race 3, right?
Yeah, I think we got Saratoga. Okay, no, let's go to Saratoga because race number 4 is coming up. Let's see here. So we want to go there.
Oh, yep, it's coming up real close. Yep, thanks for.
All right, so you have the 4. Well, we both have the 4 horse Dillinger, but you have the 7, and I have the 1 for second. Tommy Two Socks is going to be, probably the reason why they're getting bet. But I kind of like this Bramito, the 1 horse. But let's listen to the race.
Yeah, not giving you much with a 6 to 5 shot, but it looks pretty chalky here. I don't think that the 2 or the 5 have any chance to win. This is a race in the NHC you would definitely pass as an optional.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you were just going to say it's late in the day on Saturday, $30 off the cut line. I'm using the 2 or the 5. Screw it at this point. I have nothing to lose because if you don't finish, you can finish dead last at the NHC or 65th. It doesn't really make a difference, right?
Yeah. I really do think this, although the 7's getting bet and that's your second choice. I mean, it's very difficult at this level. This horse was claimed the last couple of races, now protected by Jack Sisterson. Jack's, he only has claimed 5 of them in the last couple of years, but he's won 2 of them. I'm not really that big of a fan with the 7 as much as I am the 4 and the 1. I still think it's going to be 1 and 4 4-1-1-4.
The 4, based on its last 2 races, looks really, really tough here.
All right, loaded into the gate.
Really? Good luck. I need to hit these well, even if I hit the last 3, it's pretty chalky. I'm probably not going to get there, but good luck, everybody.
All right, I'll give you my my best play-by-play here.
You want me to put the sound up, Scotty? Or
I got it.
Okay.
They broke in a pretty even line. 4 horses that's going to go to the gate. The 7 really broke the best and wasn't asked to do that. So advantage 7 horse, especially being on that outside. But the 5 horse actually gets the lead, putting some pressure on the 4, Dillinger, who ended up getting off at 6-5. Your 7 horse that you like for second ended up being your second choice at 7-5. But the 1A went to the outside of the 7. That definitely doesn't help the 7's chances.
No.
Now the 4 is going to be under pressure the entire way, and the 1A Tommy Two Socks is no joke in this race.
No.
So that doesn't help the 4 chances. 5 looks to be all out already.
Yeah, I think the 5 I think is done.
I think this race is between the 4 and the 1A. That's what it looks like. Now 7 just went 8 wide. No chance now. And Dillinger pulling away. So yeah, looking very nice. And the jockey's very confident, left-handed urging. Oh, here comes the 7.
Here comes the 1.
Right.
Here comes Tommy Two Socks.
Look at that.
Good.
Oh, that's the one I said I liked.
Yep.
1.
You got it.
Yeah, 1-4.
All right, I got a second, which is $2.80. Good call.
All right. 1. Yeah, I liked that horse. And by the way, too, that's not easy on this track to come from that far back. You know that.
No, but I will say this: the last couple of weeks, the track appears to be playing more evenly there than earlier in the meet.
All right. So came in 1 Bramito over the 4. Yeah, you know what I liked? I really look at this. I liked this horse was claimed for $50,000 by Linda Rice. That was Dylan Davis, by the way. That's his first win on the card. And this horse went from a 54 GSR to a 74 GSR. I loved it. And second off the layoff, only lost by 2 lengths against 10 other horses. I don't know about you, David, but I am always looking at the size of the field. Like, you show me you faced 5 other horses last time out, it doesn't mean that much to me.
Right. Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right. So we left off race number 4 at Del Mar. I think we're on race number 5, correct?
Okay, yes. Race number 4 we didn't cover.
We didn't cover. Okay, that's right. We were on. Okay, let's run the race. Here we go.
Now, there are 2 important scratches, right? The 1 and the 6, which I didn't get. So 1. Yeah. All right, I wasn't going to use either of those horses anyway, so.
All right, what do you think?
Oh, a $10,000 claimer for fillies and mares, 1 mile. Cheap race for Del Mar. Yeah, I don't, not too inspired by this race, to be honest with you. So I look at the speed numbers, the speed metrics, and it shows the 2's got a clear pace edge. But at this point, we're down to a 5-horse field, so you're not going to get any great prices here. I thought any of these horses could win. I ultimately landed on hold on a second. Oops, that's not right. I got the wrong track here. Okay. I ultimately settled Scotty on the 3 Sweet Hello. This horse is 3 for 23 lifetime. 3, let's see, 5, 7 out of 13 at the distance and the money. Racing between the 12.5 level to 16,000, 20,000 optional claimer for most of its career. And then the last race out, dropped to a spot where it probably could win easier in an $8,000 claimer at Del Mar, and kind of just with the inside post and showed a little speed and kind of spit the bit and finished way off the board. I just think that this is, if I'm looking at the other horses, there's so many question marks in a lot of these horses. The Low Kitten I looked at is a huge drop down. I guess you can use that horse. Doreen's Wildcat has also won 2 races at the distance. I thought this was a guessing game, and I'm looking for probably the third choice here. So I settled down to 3, Sweet Hello for Hess over the 7-horse Doreen's Wildcat, 4th time off a layoff. To go 2 back for the 7, that's not a bad race. A nice second at 36-1. But push comes to shove, I guess I do prefer the 3 over the 7. How'd you look at this race? I like I said, I struggled here.
Yeah, I mean the 5-horse, I struggle with the 5 a little bit, although the simulator race has it winning, and it gets a new trainer who's 31% with first-time out horses. I struggle with this only because, the GSR is so low. But the horse did win over at Turfway Park, or Turf Paradise, excuse me, against a similar group at 5% with the same GSR. But I mean, that was it at Turf Paradise. I want to lean more a little bit towards the 4-horse, who I think can sit behind the 2 and the 3. But that being said, and I think the horse can rate here. I think it showed the ability right here, going a mile over at Los Alamitos. And the stretch over Los Alamitos, as you probably know, is so long that for you to sustain that and run well like that. So now I'm trying to look at the story of this horse, and I see it was only 5% here, so I'm not going to kill it for that. Only 1% here against 62. I'm not going to kill it for that. And then I look here, and it was 22% and didn't run very good, but went on the fence. So okay, so now I can excuse that. Then faced a tougher group at 56 group at 9%, 57, and first time off the layoff, long layoff, 10 months. And the stretch was only 3 lengths back. Not bad, especially considering the stretch over at Los Alamitos. Then moves up to a $40,000 claimer. It was too much, was only 4% to win, and showed some speed and then stopped. This is the first time this horse is really where it needs to be. It's got a GSR of 60. It's up to 19%. And it's facing easier. I think Knapp could win this race with his 4-horse, just sitting off of the 2 and the 3. How was that?
Yeah. Again, another horse that I did look at, 3rd race off a layoff. But my question is, Scotty, is this really more of a turf horse, right? A Kitten's Joy?
I mean, it's got better. It's got more turf numbers. That is that is fair, but none of these horses are all.
Yeah. There's no barn burners in here.
I mean, it's a lower level, and I mean, I don't think that. I mean, I think this horse would do better on the turf, but I don't think that's really going to matter. The 5-horse, I don't know. What do you think of this 5? I mean,
well, the West Coast a little better than I do, but I'd be reluctant to use a horse coming out of Emerald Downs and Turf Paradise and Golden Gate and go first time at Del Mar. These horses, to me, I know it drops down in class, but this horse was racing for $62.50 or $8,000 at Golden Gate. So you would think that this might be a little aggressive for this horse. Yeah. And at 3-1 morning, I don't think I want any part of that. The thing too is, let me see. I had another note here that I think. So I'm looking for Sweet Hello, who raced against Doreen's Wildcat last time out, and I think these horses can take turns beating each other. So this horse dropped down to 8 and stays at basically the same level. I think it can reverse with a little less pace. It seemed to be a lot of pace in that race on August 8th. So a little less pace, this horse will be closer to the pace, and I think it can reverse the tables on the 7.
I mean, 3 wins in 23 races. It was 35% here, 31 here, 17% here. This horse is most likely. Now, listen, they got Maldonado on the horse. I what Maldonado is going to do. Maldonado is not rating this horse in any way, and the 2 on the inside needs the lead. So I see the 2 and the 3 dueling. I see just the opposite.
Okay.
Is what I'm seeing, and this could set it up for a horse like the 7, who is a pure closer. If you throw out the last race at 3%, This horse is 20% now. It could get the pace. And it got a nice second place finish here, and it said it was waiting. But I mean, man, this is the third race at this meet for the 7 horse. So I got to pass on this horse. It's making me look at this 5 horse. I know I'm choosing between the 4 and the 5 for sure. I like that's for sure. So I'm just going to say 4 or 5. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might play one of each depending on some of the other races, but I know you are on the 3 horse, and I'm on the
3. Sweet hello.
I'm on the 4 and 5. All right, let's go to race number 5 at Del Mar. Or do we have any?
Race number 5 at Del Mar.
Yeah, race number 5. All right.
We got a maiden special weight, a mile on the turf. That's a right race.
Get rid of the 7 horse, and maybe we can see all the horses on the screen. Stop here and let's go. All right, here we go. 8 furlongs on the turf, maiden special weight. These are Calbreds for a purse of $75,000. They're 2-year-olds, and you know what I find with these 2-year-olds, David, is that you want to look for the ones like you can look at the sire and the dam, especially the dam, to see if they won early. That's a thing. So because a lot of horses mature later. And in fact, most of the horses that mature later end up being the best horses. But you want to look to see when you're looking at these, especially with some of the first-time starters, but look at some of the horses that maybe ran one time. Like the 8 horse only ran one time for Mark Latt, and the horse was bet to your second choice at 5-2. It was 29% to win. It's facing easier now. And so if we look at the mom, let's take a look at the mom. Not sure why that's not going up. All right, that was just working 5 minutes ago, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But you can, if you look at the mom, look to see if the mom won early. Let's see here. What do you think of the 8 horse winning so easily like that?
Yeah, I thought I was really interested in 2 horses here. Just bear with me. I'm just looking up turf on this. Yeah, more. Okay, the damn. Yeah, I thought this basically was a logical 2-horse race. Not really telling anybody anything because they're the 2 first choices. I thought it was clearly between Cali Cat and Call Me Sir, who are the most upside here. If you look at Call Me Sir first, this horse had trouble early, 5 furlong race, now stretching out to a mile. It was bet down at 5-2. Works are nice and steady, especially the last 3. This horse is a logical contender at 8-5. And the other horse I thought, and I think I'm going to prefer the other horse because slightly better prices, 6 Cali Cat for Sadler. This horse is American Pharaoh, who didn't run on the turf, but has also been okay with turf breeding. But the key is the dam, and you just mentioned if the dam and won early or won on the turf. Ready for Romance is out of More Than Ready, which I love, and the Ready for Romance had one on the turf. So I just think this horse, and again, that's my angle, first time turf. This horse to me is just looks like it could have a lot of upside. I think you will get a little better a price than the 8. So I'm all over Cali Cat, and my backup would be the Call Me Sir. But talking about a hypothetical pick 6, this is the 6. I would single the 6 here if I was playing.
Well,
Cali Cat. Hernandez stays on.
The American Pharaohs are all running on turf, all of them. We bought a horse for $150,000 at Timonium sale, and that horse Macanja that American Pharaoh, and that horse has just she's been phenomenal and super fast, and these American Pharaohs are running on the turf. So and you can see here the turf tab. I mean, it's a little bit low, but again, these are state breds, but you can see it's most likely going to want to do turf. So yeah, naturally, I would imagine that the 6 horse is going to improve. It's also 3-1 on the EE morning line, you know, and Sadler Hernandez, good combination. The EquinEdge picks. I mean,
I also like the Bruno work comment on August 24th. So that's what also led me to. I just think this is a horse that you know, I would, like I said, it's a single for me.
Let's see.
Hoping you can beat the 8.
Go real quickly. Delmar 5. All right, Kelly Cat. So Bruno's got a 4-star work on Kelly Cat. Blinkers on, could have made short work of headed 4 ohms. So evidently Kelly Cat just outworked its mate very easily. And Kelly finished under a big hold in 1 minute and 1 minute 13. That's a big time work. You'd imagine this horse is going to really improve, and Hernandez re-rides. So yeah, that's a good work there. Yeah, this one is also working really good. Call Me Sir, inside of another horse, and went 48-3. Mark, it's these two.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this could be a stretch duel, exciting race coming down to the wire here, and you know, based on the breeding of both of these horses, especially. Well, I think these horses, as they get older, could have a big upside.
Well, but we always talk about not using favorites as well. Yeah. And like, unless you think a favorite is going to be a cinch to win, you're not really using favorites. Here's an interesting horse, and that's Uncle Ivko, who is moving up in GSR by look at that, 22 points. Didn't break well first time out. Certainly looks like a horse that wants to go 2 turns and should improve. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine if you're looking for a price horse, Rispoli's aboard for McCarthy, although Hernandez gets off to ride the 6. He does get off to ride the 6.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yep.
You know, so, but I would imagine this 5 horse could improve some. The simulator has the 8 horse winning for fun and 43%. And this horse is just training tremendously on the track. Let's see here. Off a bit awkward, leveled off, showed some run, and shut down and finished in 12-3. I mean, that's moving, and the horse was shut down. I think Kelly Cat's going to run huge, but I think you're going to have to beat the 8 horse Call Me Sir, I think.
Yeah, negative 2 horse race. But again, Uncle Evko would be the 3rd logical horse with a little improvement.
Yeah, I don't think you even need to go any deeper than that. I will say this: if you look, Baltus, who's tremendous on the turf, although the GSRs aren't very good. The 10 horse is maybe a horse you might want to look at. The workouts never asked. 115 flat. So a little bit of a slow workout. So I would pass on that. All right, David, I've got 865. Are you going with the 6?
I'm going with the 6-8. 6. Actually, if I had 2 tickets, I'm going to use the 6 on both.
You would use the 6. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we are in race number 6 now.
Race 6 at Del Mar. So we got another maiden special weight for 6 furlongs. Is this in fillies and mares? Okay. And these are 3 and up. Okay.
Well, we have what appears to be a runaway winner, but again, it just makes no sense in my mind to use this horse.
Right.
I mean, and we see second-time starters losing all the time, although Seismic Beauty and Nafisa and Beauty was much the best. 59-2, 112-2 in hand. Yeah, I mean, that's just a tremendous work. Very well in the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, this horse just looks like, again, why I had mentioned the wheel before in that the first leg is that you could technically single Seismic Beauty, and I would single Cali Cat. So, you know, but the thing is, this is a My Racehorse owned horse also, the 6.
Yeah.
And it's a $550,000. I mean, This horse is going to be bet, and it will be all day 3 to 5, 4 to 5. You'll get, this is no upside for a tournament horse. So my game plan in this would be look for a horse who might be able to finish second at a decent price. I don't want the second or third choice. This is a one that you just take a shot because I just don't. I never wanted 3 to 5 in a contest. So I searched around looking for some value here or something that. Again, we just saw a race earlier today, a 29 to 1 shot ran second. That's the horse you needed, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying a 29 to 1 shot's going to run second here, but with that being said, obviously you need to use, if you're using horizontals, you've got to really use Seismic Beauty somewhere in there, right? But the horse, I started looking around here, and the horse that I was interested in, and you also have the Baffert horse is going to be the second choice. That's the other Baffert horse, a quality road horse. It's $1 million filly. I mean, this horse is cutting back from a mile. So you got, I don't think you want either of them in the contest. I don't know. So I'm hoping.
Well, real quickly, not to cut you off, but
yeah, sure, no.
The last workout here, this workout, Seismic Beauty and Nafisa, they were working out against each other. And it says, and Beauty, Seismic Beauty was much the best, hard health. So I imagine, and not only that, the 6 horse is much faster naturally early on. So I would imagine, unless the 6 horse gets in some speed duel or can't rate, I would imagine that the 6 horse is much better than the 8.
Right. So that's why. So for horizontal purposes, I may single the 6, but for contest purposes, I'm looking for somebody to finish second. All right, that's going to pay maybe a little more. And how about the Hunch Exacta, number 4, Affair over Current Affair, right? So that's going to be an underlay. You'll have people playing that. I don't like Current Affair at all. I don't want the horse shipping in from Woodbine first time for Hollendorfer. The horse I looked at was Mike Smith's horse, is Affair for Richard Mandela. This horse now has got Lasix on for the first time. Raced as a 2-year-old last year, so no Lasix allowed, correct? Not a bad work on August 24th. This horse is a run happy, a sprinter. So if you look at this first race, it ran over Delmar, right? And it's got a trouble line bumped, quarter pole. This horse was bet around less than 5 to 1. And it was a 5-horse field, granted, but it ran a decent third. Then moved to the turf, stretched out to a mile, and really, again, was the favorite in that race. And the trouble line was forced out. Now, this horse is 12 to 1 morning line. Mike Smith picks up the mount. This is good connections. I mean, to me, this horse is a sprinter. Hopefully have a little more speed today. So I'm looking at the 4 to use in the contest. So it would be 4. And I guess you want to move on. If you want to use the 6, it's not my style. But, yeah, I'd be looking for the 4 to make the exacta here. So I'll use the 4 in the contest. Fair. Third, back to dirt, from turf, off the layoff. And I like the connections.
Yeah.
So,
I have a hard time. I can't make it. First of all, for me, that horse had a 4-star work on August 11th. But for me, in its first start, it faced 4 other horses, and it got third. And then the second start, it broke bad, no doubt about it. And the GSR dropped on the turf, and it gets back to dirt. And it looks like this horse is a dirt sprinter. I think the issue I have with this horse is it's not fast early. It looks like it wants longer, and it's on the inside. And so I think, a horse that's going to get a clear trip is going to be a lot tougher to beat. I just think Seismic Beauty just looks too tough. And you're not supposed to, unless you're 100% certain this horse is going to win, you're not supposed to use it. Nafisa, by the way, is getting Lasix for the first time. Here's the issue that I have is if I use any other horse besides the 6, like the 8, the 8's going to probably be 9 to 2. So
probably lower.
Maybe even lower, right? The 7 horse is the only other horse that I like, and this horse looks like hell, and even that might go off at 7 to 1. And so even if it gets second, the 6 horse is probably going to go off 3 to 5, 4 to 5, win for fun, and just take the money and run. That's to me. I think the 6 horse looks 100% to win the race is what I think. So I'm going to go away from what I normally would do. I just don't see beating the 6 horse.
I think you make it 2 to 5 here on the 6 horse, Scotty.
That's definitely a possibility. But the problem is, if I liked a long shot like you do to get second, like that, now that would make sense. Right. I don't personally like the 4, but if I did like the 4, I would. That's what I would use. I would agree with you.
You got to like the horse, right?
You have to like the
horse.
Like the
horse even a little bit, right? I agree.
A little bit. I would for those, maybe the 2 horse with John Sheriff's would be an interesting horse because it certainly has speed. Look, if the 6 isn't all that, then the 6 is right there. I think Nafisa is going to run good too, by the way. I mean, look at the workouts for this horse. It's getting Lasix for the first time as well. The reason is these 2-year-olds, you don't get Lasix as a 2-year-old in most of the country, I believe. I know in Florida for sure. And so Nafisa is coming off that layoff and working against Seismic Beauty, and Seismic Beauty just, crushed. This horse is 56%. And also Hernandez stays and gets off the 3-horse Rich of Joy. Yeah. The 2-horse. I mean, I think the 2-horse has a fighting chance on the rail, but I don't think that horse is not going to be sitting in the lead too long. Seismic Beauty is going to just be pressing the entire time. And it's interesting that Mike Smith gets off of John Sheriff's horse to ride the 4. That is interesting.
Yeah, let me pull that up again.
It had a 4-star work here. Let's see. Affair Caught the Eye went 24, hooked in with Spotted Haze. A Mullins working from 3 furlong pole. They went down the lane in 36 flat for the last 3/8. Affair kicked on and went in 112 flat. So that was a pretty impressive workout.
Yeah, I thought it was acceptable. And, Pratt had the mount on the last 2, but obviously Pratt's in New York now. So, good move. I didn't pick up on that. Thanks.
Yeah, the 6 horses, top pace, top win percentage, top GSR, top EE morning line, top EE pick. It's just got a lot going for it.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, Scotty, the more that I look at this, I think I may play pick 6 and a single the last the 5th and 6th races, and maybe I will do that wheel.
Yeah. All right, we've got 2 more races. Race number 7 and race number 8.
And then we have Saratoga. Let's see. They are. Where are they? Where'd they go? They are approaching the gate.
They are. All right.
You want to watch the 4-horse field? Might as well.
Yep. Let's watch this race. Saratoga.
So you have the 1, right?
Let's see. Saratoga.
Which is Backstretch Rose, who I originally have is 3 to 5. But with the scratches, I was concerned that there's not enough speed left for this horse's her late kick. So I went with the 5, who's 9 to 5.
So yeah,
it's only a 4-horse field.
So you have the 5-horse Pam Pam, and I ended up taking the 1-horse Backstretch Rose, who's your big favorite. Let's see here. All right, they're going into the gate. 1-horse is your big favorite at 3 to 5. And your 5 is 9 to 5.
Right. So for those of you who are watching, if you're watching the head on here, look where that little temporary rail is, and watch when they go towards the turn, how this inside post doesn't look like he's ever going to make that. Look at that. You don't see that on the pen shot.
Yeah, no, you could see that though. Yeah,
That's tricky for me.
it is tricky. Yeah, the 4 came in too. The 1 was like headed towards the rail.
Yeah. I have to tell you, if I owned a horse and we entered into Wilson Shoot and I drew the 1 post, I don't even want to watch the beginning of the race. All right, we'll throw that scratch. I'm concerned with the horse's safety and well-being more than.
So Miss Lau
got the lead, and the 5 didn't really press.
No. I don't think the 5 was as worried about the 4 as he was the 1. That's what I think is going on.
4 is going to go get away wire to wire now. There, here comes the 5 making her move.
He's loaded on the 1.
The 1 is totally loaded.
Yeah. He's going to wait for the rail, it looks like, but I don't know that that's a good idea. 4 came out, so he has no choice.
Yep, trying to get that 5 to switch leads. Here comes the 5.
Squeezed him a bit, but it's not going to be enough.
No.
Yeah.
The 5 looks like it wants to bear out a little bit.
5's going to get up and come back for a second, I think.
Barely.
I felt like the jockey on the 4 could have held second if he really tried a little bit harder, but I think he thought he had the measure of the 5 and then realized he was in the horse race late and cost the horse a second. But the 1 was an easy winner. So
easy winner.
Yeah. Let's see here.
And that has been, hold on a second. Let's see here. Yeah, Ricardo sent out. Yeah, perfect trip up to the rail. I made the right decision. The rail seems to be good the last couple of days. You can rally up the rail on the dirt.
What is it? What is Al saying here?
Daily double.
6-8, race 6-6. Oh, daily double. Okay.
Race 6. The 6.
So race 5, the 6 and 8. Yes. And to race number 6, the 6 horse. The answer is yes, but you're not going to make a lot of money, Al. You're not going to make a lot of money.
No, that's not a wager that I would construct, because you're looking at when you think you have a prohibitive favorite in the 6th race at 2 to 5, 3 to 5. I don't know if I want to go 3 deep in the 3 first choices in the prior leg, because you're cutting into 2 of those numbers. 2 of those are going to be losers that you're going to rip up, and it's not enough value to chase. Yeah.
No, what you could do, you could make a choice in race number 5 between the 6 and the 8. What's up, Mike? Mike's back.
Yeah, I would use a gigantic double 6 over the 6. Okay, to be honest,
I would have to agree with, like, if Al, the way you want to play that is don't be afraid to lose and do a 6-6 double, because the 8's going to be the big favorite in race number 5, and and that double 6-6 might actually. I don't know. What would you expect to get on that 6-6? You're probably still only going to get $3 or $4 for $1.
No, I think you'll get more. I think I go by the $2 number. I think you'll get $11 or $12, because I think he'll be the clear second choice, and they're going to be all over the 8. And I think the 8-6 is going to be like, for $1, it's probably for $2, probably $5 or $6. They're going to crush that. Yeah.
When you get to race number 5, you can look at those probables.
Yeah.
All right, Al. So look at the probables.
Right.
Again, you would come here, right here, and you would look at the probables. But you have to wait until the tote is live for race.
Right, for that race. Yeah. So I mean, if I could get $10 or $12 on a $2 wager on a 6-6, I may fire away.
All right, we need to do race number 7 and 8, I believe, right, to finish off?
Yes. So we settled on the. Just bear with me a second. My notes. So we settled on Seismic Beauty. I'm using a fair in the contest. You're using Seismic. All right, good. Let's move on.
All right.
7th race, Del Mar. 7th race, Del Mar. We've got
5 furlongs.
5 furlongs on the turf for $50,000 starter allowance for Calbreds. 3 and up. Okay. All right. You run the simulator there. Let's see.
So the 5 horse is much the fastest horse in the race, and on 5 furlongs on the turf, that speed is deadly. Now, do you really see that 5 horse stopping?
Yeah, hold on. Just bear with me a second, Scotty. For some reason, my EquinEdge froze up here. All right, yeah, I'm back. All right, so let me look at the pace. Yeah, so again, when I look at a race, when I'm handicapped, I'm going to the 7th race at Delaware. The first thing I pull up is EquinEdge. And I always do this with every race, especially races where I'm not familiar with the horses that much. And I pull up the pace metric. And anytime I see, again, that disparity, almost 20 points, it's worth looking into playing that horse just based on lone speed without even handicapping the race. That saves me time. Say I have a half hour to handicap a pick 6 and I want to play it. I'll rely more on EquinEdge than I would if I had 3 hours to handicap. But who's got 3 hours sometimes on busy days, right?
For sure.
So I think it's a use, but then I look further into the horse and then I make a decision whether it's a single or whether I'm going to use it. And then so I look at Western Grit's past performances. This horse was in a maiden special weight, Calbreds, and dumped into a maiden 20 open company and moved from the turf to the dirt and went wire to wire. And I believe August 16th, I was watching the races that day. I think I watched the entire card. Yep, I think I had some kind of financial incentive to watch. And this horse at 8-1 got on a clear lead and just coasted speed favoring track. That day, I believe the speed was just incredible at Delaware, as I can recall. So now this horse is a maiden 20,000, steps up again to the starter allowance. Is it going to get the same trip, right? And I would doubt going to the turf 5 furlongs. This horse will have the lead, but I decided to look elsewhere. And it ended up being my second choice because of the speed issue. Let me just see. Just an FYI, sorry, one mind. 1, 2, 3, 4.
For me, when I look at the 5 horse, here's what I see. I on purpose put the SOR next to the pace and the GSR, but I wanted the SOR right next to the pace especially, and the reason is class. And although the pace on the 5 is a 90, it's got a really low SOR.
Yes, very low.
So in my mind, I see this horse stopping. That's what I see. I feel pretty confident about this play. By the way, I think I flatter her. I think I knew that, David. I think we talked about this before, that the inside posts have been winning on the shoot there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you want to be, the far outside posts are not really great. But like I said, I have an issue with that first jump with the 1 pole post. I think that's,
thanks for sending that, though. That's
thanks,
awesome. But, well, you have to, I don't know that it sucks, Chris. For me, it's great information because there's biases at almost every track of some sort. Right. So
I just don't like the configuration. It's gonna,
you can chat GPT it. I've done that a couple of times. Like if you don't know a track and you're gonna play it, go, okay, 6 furlongs over at Belmont Park on the dirt. What are the stats as far as how horses win? Do they win off the pace? Do they win? And you'll be surprised. Sometimes it gives you some interesting answers. So I've done that a few times.
Yeah, Chris, I think Chris and I are on the same page. I love you next to shoot races suck. I don't care what you do. No matter what you say, the shoot races suck. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I get you.
I'm throwing the 5 out, and then I'm going to rerun this thing. So So now I want to just picture that the 5's not in there, and I just want to kind of see, poop. Scotty says poop shoot.
And you have a bunch of non-winners. Right? You got 1 for 15, 1 for 21, 1 for 10, 1 for 3. That might be a playable horse.
Yeah.
1 for 8, Western Grit, and we don't think he's going to win the second time. 1 for 13, 1 for 10, 1 for 17.
So sometimes when I don't get the visual, I will sort by. You can sort any which way you want to sort, by the way, but I'll sort by the post position to kind of get a visual of the outside and the way that's going to go. So you can clearly see the 7 is dropping in GSR, but the 7 is 2-1 on the E morning line. The EquinEdge long shot and does have a decent win percentage, and it's going to be sitting probably the horse that's going to be sitting in second outside of the 5, and it's got way more class than the 5. So maybe that horse, and then the 8 could be sitting right there. It's also the top EquinEdge pick, but the 8 could be sitting right off of the 7. And the reason I think I'm going to go for the 8 is because with the GSR dropping, and even though the 8's a player in here, it could really slow down late and get weak because it doesn't necessarily want to go this distance. So, and it's burned money as the favorite. The last 3 times it's been the favorite. It's burned a lot of money. So I think it's likely to stop. And then you have the 8 horse just sitting a perfect trip on the outside who's tactical. The horse is going from a 6% win to a 24% win. Second off the layoff for Saavedra, who's 8%. So if you don't go with the 8 horse, I don't know. Who do you go with, David?
Well, I've settled on the 8's obviously a contender, but the 1 for 17 is not really up my alley, to say the least. Then I looked at, I decided to settle on the 7 at the 8-1 morning line, Devil Among Us. I know this horse is 1 for 10, but there's a lot of horses who had other starts. The concern I have is this really a turf horse, right? But I think based on the race flow, this horse coming out of this 5.5 furlong sprint at 21-1 they ran and just broke outward. His horse was the favorite in the last time where it was dumped to 12.5. Ran a third. The race before that 6.5, maybe a little too far for this horse, and had us clear lead and just packed it in late as the favorite. Does spurn money. However, it has won at 6 furlongs at LaSalle. Turf would concern me, but I think because I agree with you. I think the 5 is going to have a clear lead and quit. I want the horse who's going to be right there to pounce on this horse and draw off, and that would be the 7 or the 8. Since I like 8-1 morning better than 7-2, it's all Devil Among Us for me. I'm singling Devil Among Us in race 7, the Scotty long shot pick.
Yeah, 2-1 on the E morning line.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah.
You know, for me, it's just burned too much money. If it couldn't win under Phil D'Amato that entire time, I can't use the 7. I think it's going to be sitting in a beautiful trip, though. I will say that. A horse that you might want to look for, Tiago Pereira ends up here, and this horse could run a good race. It's the last 3 races, it's broke bad. If it can break decent, but it's this kind of race. It's got 1 win. But what's kind of tipping me off to this horse is the only one that's finishing with a blue mark. So we know the horse is most likely going to be closing in a race with a bunch of horses that don't like to win. And then you take a look at a horse like this one, the 6 horse, who's been racing against way too tough competition and drops big time in class, who sees that class relief. Carla Gaines is 8% off the layoff. That's not great, but I like Carla off the layoff, though. She always has her horses ready. And Rispoli jumps aboard, and the jockey-trainer combination is 18%. I have a feeling the 6 horse is probably ready. It's 5-2. I know for me, it's probably 2, 6, 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this 6 horse, and again, let's look at talking about the pick 6 issue or horizontals. Yeah, I think you'd have to use the 6. That's a gigantic drop down.
It is. And
this horse doesn't have to be much to beat this field. So yeah, I'd probably use the 6, 7, a 7 over the 6. And if I was going to go too deep, I may go 3 deep in horizontals, 6, 7, 8, but I'll pass on the 2.
Another thing too is what I like to look at is if you look here at the stretch. First of all, the horse is not a good breaker. That's the negative. I probably won't take the 6 because of that, but I think the 6 is going to run a big race. But it's not a good breaker. But Rispoli jumps aboard. But even when Freysu jumps aboard, the horse is just a slow breaker, period. But against better horses in the stretch, the horse is 5 lengths back here, 5.5 back here, 2.5 back here against a 58, 56, and 58 group, even with those slow breaks. So how much closer at this stretch is the 6 horse going to be in here?
Right. The 6 is going to be, and again, this is only 5 furlongs. This horse, as far as I see, this horse ran 5 furlongs once and made him special weight and could get off slow again and finished a second. But yeah, this horse might have, at 5 furlongs, this horse may have too much ground to make up. So that's why I want somebody stalking that 5 closer.
That's definitely a possibility. And I think we're seeing that with the race simulator. I think it's exactly what we're seeing. And because of how this horse breaks, even though it's got the class, I think it's going to probably be too far back. It's only 12% to win. So it's just another one of the horses. And the last 3 races were just really bad breaking. Look at the GSR; it's going up from 41 to 48.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for the layoff on the 2. So that's, and also 1 for 21. That's a no use for me.
Well, that's it then. Then it's the 8 for me. All right.
All right. So Scotty's on the 8, and I'm on the 7. Okay.
Let's make sure.
We both acknowledge that the 6, if you're playing horizontals, probably a must use, right?
Yeah.
Based on that drop, Carly.
Yeah. Based on that drop. I mean, again, when you're seeing a big drop like that, just look at where the horse was in the stretch against those better horses, and that's kind of an indicator. All right, we have the last race we have to cover is race number 8. Let's see if I can. My internet. I'm surprised we haven't had any issues because my internet is it's so slow here. I need to do something with it. But let me. We got one more race to cover. Let's see if we can get this race to pop up.
Okay. Oh, 1, 4. We've got some late scratches here. 1, 4, 5. Okay, that changes things a little bit. 1 was Rivers Candy. 5 deficit. Maya. And 5 Sheila. Okay.
All right, let me see if I can get this up.
Two minutes.
So Woodbine's coming up in 2 minutes, but you know what I'm going to do. All right, I have a trick up my sleeve. Yeah, that's right. Good point, Chris.
All right, Kentucky Downs live video.
Yeah, we have live video now.
Right, I like that. And by the way, Chris, you gave me a nightmare when you. The only thing that would suck more is a synthetic track for the shoot. Yes, and I have a fear that when we get to the new Belmont Park that we may actually see that. Hopefully not. It'll probably be like 1.5 miles. They're going to change the circumference of the track, I guess. So it won't be 1.5 miles. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Mike. With what I saw yesterday, there was no rhyme or reason for yesterday, but you got third. I mean, you did great. I know. Can you give us a tip on how, I'm going to play in that tournament, but can you give me a tip on what I should be looking for? Just the fastest horse in the race?
Who are you asking?
You for Kentucky Downs tomorrow in the
Oh,
tournament.
okay, now I'm in Kentucky. So just so people know, about 3 or 4 days ago, I told Scotty, don't forget about the Thursday contest. It's only $300. It's a piece of cake. And I said, but I usually do terrible at Kentucky Downs. So but I'm still going to play. So he texted me back. He says, you got to use horses on or near the lead. They don't win from off the pace. So, of course, it comes down to the first race, and I'm looking, there's a lone speed, and he's on the outside, and he's 4, 12, 13, 14 to 1, and I'm salivating. So I was going to go all in, but I was lucky that I played a couple of exactas, and I got the $400 exacta, which just mind-boggling. So I played that horse, used a couple of exactas, and before you know it, after the first race, I converted my 150 bankroll into 1,300. Thank you, Scotty. So
Yeah.
just play long shots. That's all I can tell. Matt Miller's at a disadvantage, he told me, because too many long shots.
Yeah, that's me
so
too.
that's right up my alley. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I try to find the winner. Galicia's Spirit is going to run within, I would say, 45 days at the latest. Right now, Galicia's Spirit is a horse that I own that got a third place finish over in the championship meet over at Gulfstream Park and ran really good, and then had a bone chip. But since has been doing really good and training at Monmouth Park right now.
Nice.
So yes, we'll see. And then we have another one we bought over at the Ocala sale, and his name is Sarkis. Sarkis, and he looks talented, and he's been training up in the Tampa area. I think it's the Tampa area up there somewhere, Ocala area, excuse me. Anyways, and he's going to be coming down to Gulfstream Park in about 2 weeks from now.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's all dirt, whereas Galicia's Spirit is a turf horse. But super excited.
Right. Excellent. If I could just go back to Mike for a second, Mike, as far as Kentucky Downs, so my goal was going in. I really want to win that turf. They give you a turf belt for next Saturday's win. It used to be a compilation of points built up, but I guess now the major tournament to get that turf belt, the championship belt, King of Kentucky Downs turf racing, right? They award that at the last 2 years. They awarded that belt at the awards dinner at the NHC. It's so cool. And Mike Rapps had won it, and I spoke to him, and we were my trophy, his belt, and I'm like, geez, how do you win that belt? And so I'm like, so my goal is at the NHC, I want to get that damn belt, to go along with my I don't know. So I accomplished half part of the goals there. So the next couple of days, I'm going to be doing my burning the night oil, studying Kentucky Downs to turf form, because I'm serious about this. I really want to get that turf.
I know you are. Yeah, I know you are.
I'll share it with you, Scotty. I'll let you wear it at the NHC.
Yes, please. All right, so talk us through this race. You can see the race simulator. It has the 3-horse winning over the 10. The 3-horse, it's definitely a horse that needs to be forwardly placed, but it's dropping huge in class. And I know Corner likes to win races, especially at Del Mar for sure, and especially for JMS Stables. Yeah,
I looked at this horse. Just looks really based on the drop down, right? So this horse drops into an optional claimer where this horse is just a hard hitter. But I noticed one thing here. This is now the 4th race off a layoff, so the drop down makes sense. The barn has only won 2 races at the meet, but the workout on August 24th was good. Is this horse, if you notice, I've noticed one thing with this horse, that if you look at his past performances, in most races, this horse is just giving up ground at the end consistently at any distance beyond 5.5 furlongs. You look at the 6 furlong races, had the lead, packed it in. The last 3 races, 6 furlongs. 6 furlongs and 6. It's basically right there and just packs it in late. So that makes sense. The drop down makes sense. So I'm thinking maybe this horse doesn't want to go any more than 5.5 furlongs. And if you look, 2 races it's won is both at 5.5 furlongs. Puts blinkers on, maybe try to show that, carry that speed a little further. So that horse looks really tough. But I looked at a couple of other horses, And I still haven't decided, but we're going to make a decision now. Dr. Ray D, I don't really love to ship in there, but then I'm going to contradict myself because the horse that I'm looking to make is the 9, Anybody's Choice. I think this horse is interesting. I had a note here that off the layoff, Sandino Hernandez is 22%. This horse has 2 races over the Delmar surface and has a first and a second. Granted, they were at a higher class level. This horse hasn't been out for a while, but based on the affinity for Delmar Racecourse and the slight drop down and knowing you're going to get a pretty decent price, I'd be using the 3 and the 9, and I'd probably, for the contest, I'd probably key on the 9, but I think the 3 is a must use. So it would be 3, 9, 9, 3 for me.
Look, they're adding blinkers to this horse. To be honest with you, I'm surprised this horse hasn't been running in blinkers all along. But look, You're right. You made a really good point. The 2 wins are at 5.5 furlongs, and obviously, look, this is an easier group, so you're facing easier. You're going from 8% to 36%. This horse runs every single time. I think this horse is reliable, and excuse me. I think this horse is going to be. Thank you. I think this horse is going to be super, super tough. You know, and if you look at the main competition, it's the 9 and the 10 most likely, and the 11, and they're all wide. They're all, outside posts going 5.5 furlongs with not really that much speed. So I just really think you're going to have to come and get the 3. I don't know how you're going to do it. I hate to take chalk, but because if we're wrong about this, well, at least if we're wrong about this, the good news is that probably people have the 10 horse, right? And and the 10 horse. And look at this too. The 10 horse is naturally always near the lead. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's interesting at the first call that it's showing being a length and 3/4. When you go to the second call, though, the 3 horse is really getting in front. But look at the 10. If you look at the pace number, it's not even close. But if you look at the simulated race, 10 doesn't really get too far out of it. And it's going up in GSR, up in win percentage, and facing easier as well. Throw out that mild debacle, throw that out, and what has that horse done wrong? 2 wins and a second by a length and a quarter. Yeah. Hey, maybe this horse is a major player.
Oh yeah, I think it. Yeah, the reason I settled on the 9 over the 10 is because of the win and the second place at Delmar. I'm obviously risking that layoff, but when I see 22%, I can. That's an acceptable number to me. But again, class clown. If I would be going into a live pick 6, I'd be going in with the 3 and the 9.
Yeah. Tough one. All right, so you're gonna go 3.
No, I'm gonna go. For the contest, I'm gonna go 9. When you look, when it comes down to the last race, and we're both in the top 10, don't be surprised if I have the 3 or the 9. I haven't decided, but yeah, probably just because of price alone, Scotty. But and again, I may even have the guts in a pick 6 to single the 3, so then I'd have 3 singles, so I can spread around in some of the other races. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But I convinced myself I'm playing it today. I'm playing a pick 6. Probably not.
Yeah, I look at it's 30. Look at the win percentage could be 20%, but it's not. It's 36%.
Yeah.
It's a horse to watch. Look at this: top pace, top win, top SOR, top GSR, top EE morning line, EE pick. Like, I mean, it's just it's 83% chance of being in the money. It's 50 horses that meet this criteria, David. They win 52% of the time.
Right.
52. It's just. And I really like Corner as a trainer. First of all, he's 16%, and I mean I've known Brian a long time. JMS Stables has always been a backer of his, and he wants to win for them, and they love Delmar, and they are all California, and so I think they want to win badly, and the purse is $29,000, a little bit low for Delmar to me, but but they just want to win. They want to be in the winner's circle. And I've had horses. I've had 2 or 3 wins at Del Mar. It's the best feeling to be down there.
Like having a win at Saratoga. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when I hit a big pick 6 down at Del Mar in 2011, I singled my horse in the first leg, 3 Cuties. And that was just amazing. Like getting a win down there and then hitting that pick 6 and being the only ticket that day. Wow.
That's the $1 million one, right? That was at Del Mar. That's Santa Anita.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I singled that horse, and she won only by probably a head.
Whoa.
And I singled her. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
So many amazing things. So that was just a lot of, it was, what a great day that was, right? So, I mean, obviously, but it'd have been a great day without the win, but it was really neat to get a win down at Del Mar. It's like nothing else. Saratoga for East Coast people. I'm on the East Coast now. I have been to Saratoga. But Del Mar for us West Coasters, Del Mar, it's like we're beach. We're the beach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you smell the air, you know, where right? And, where the surf meets the turf. The turf meets the surf. Yep.
At Old Del Mar. Yeah, that's why I was attracted to Gulfstream years ago, because I had 2 things besides horse racing and also hockey, football. I love my hobbies. I love fishing, deep sea fishing in the Atlantic, and also I love going to the beach. So when I saw Hollywood, I'm like, geez, that Gulfstream is perfect. Especially in January, February, March. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make this we got to get a place down here. This is cool. But again, I mean, if I was a West Coast guy, I'd probably feel the same way about Del Mar because of the proximity to the Pacific. But it's a cross country trip. It gets a lot for me. I just the older I get, I'm like, I don't know if I want to travel. I'd love to go to that's my bucket list, Del Mar, but probably not the Breeders' Cup. You go to the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar? Are you going to be live there, Scotty?
I'm not sure if I'm going to go live or not because I play in the BCBC and I just don't have the best luck with internet. I don't know what it is with me and internet. And over at Santa Anita this past year I went and it was just a disaster with the internet. And I didn't enjoy that part of it. But when you're going for tour points and things like that, it's a lot richer for you when you're on the track. So I've got mixed feelings. But hey, listen, we both are on the 6 horse here at Saratoga.
6-1. I just put it in. Yeah, just gonna mention that.
6-1. Right now, we're not surprised that the 1 horse is 6-5, but West Hollywood. But I thought this horse was beatable, but the process was a long shot play for me. Last night, even I was talking about it last night with Justin, but anyway, 6-1 great odds.
Yeah, Scotty, and that the process is the 5th choice in the race. Then it shows you that I just increased my wager on this horse.
All right, come on, let's finish off. This will be our
last.
All
right, let's finish off good.
Yeah, let's do it.
And as far as the BCBC, I may play it at Gulfstream.
Yeah. There's the process. Looks very good. Goes into the gate, no problem.
Good luck, everybody. Have faith in the process. Have faith in the process. That's what I say.
Breaks fine. Going to sit behind the 5 horse. Perfect.
They better put pressure on this horse. The Big Torpedo is a good horse.
It's not I mean, it's still early in the race, and the 1 horse is well in hand, but not a great place to be though.
Yeah, it's 24-4.
That's low. Wow. So right now, the Big Torpedo is 3-1, the 5 horse in the lead. The process, our horse is 6-1 and sitting in second, about a length and a half behind the 5. And 7-2 on Take Me to Church. The Irish spread on the rail seems to be running fine. Also, Yo Daddy at 5-1. The 4 horse has a lot of horse. The 1 horse is going to have to go wide no matter what. In last right now, behind the big long shot 2. 2's done. Four horse Yo Daddy is making some interest here on the outside, but going to have to go wide. You're right. I mean, the big torpedo set those slow fractions. Here comes the one.
The one's flying.
Going to be wide though, really wide.
The 6 got no room. The 6 has no room. He won't go between horses.
Yeah.
She won't go between horses. Okay, go between horses. Come on. No.
Oh, 6 is done.
No. Oh my God. Wow.
So the 5 broke down, and the 5 broke down. The 1 wins the race officially, or unofficially, but the 1 had no part of that. The 5 took a bad step on the turf, and that was not pretty. I'm sorry.
That was not good.
Yeah, and then one other horse fell. I don't know who that is, and it's hard to say. Yeah, that wasn't pleasant to watch for sure.
No, that's the issue with horses. Sometimes you just you watch something like this and you don't feel like playing the rest of the day, especially if you're at the track, right? I mean, hopefully everybody's okay. Who was the jock on it's a 5 horse that went down, right?
It was the the 5. 5 is the one that broke down. Yeah. No, the 5 broke down. I don't know who fell. I think it might have been the 4 that no, it wasn't the 4. The 4 finished second, so it had to be the 3 horse. No, it was the 3.
Justiana.
Yeah, so it was the 3 horse Take Me to Church that fell after the 5 horse, and obviously 2 jockeys were down. It was no bueno.
This 4 finished second. Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
All right. I hate to end on a note like that, but it's kind of a downer. But
yeah, we're not going to see anything. We're just going to have to hear what's going on. But always good to
best of luck to everybody out there, the jockeys, horses, owners. Yeah, that's just awful to watch.
Always good to hang out with you, David. I hope.
Same here, man.
Right, you got the stretch run show tomorrow with the guys. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and they had a lot of winners last week. And then, David, good luck in the tournament. Everybody, good luck in the tournament to you, Mike, and Dave, and everybody else. And appreciate you supporting us and tuning in. We hope you have a wonderful weekend and stay safe. And we will see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining, everybody.